Welcome back to the Tournament of Champions 2022 in Kansas City, Missouri. I'm Nick Dichiria, joined by Sean Green and the legend Will Stuart in the background here. And we are watching right now the triples no-cap king seat match. First off, Sean, how are you?
Buddy, I'm doing well. I'm actually excited to see, well, both teams, obviously. But we've seen Jeremiah, Kyle, and Leonard throughout this. They're a soldier. They're taking on a team of players that I have not seen before, which is getting my attention. Star City Amusements, so they're going to be from the Texas area. Keith Calloway, Fred Wright, and Zach Hunter. Here's Fred.
And, of course, we already know the names on the other end. Leonard Gates, Jeremiah Millar, and Kyle Liddicky. The Beast, the Soldier, and the Lids.
So just a little tidbit. I do know Fred. I think Fred has some Knights hats in his collection from what I recall. And then Zach Hunter, I had the privilege of streaming him in the Shark Tank Shootout recently at Sharks in Shawnee, Kansas. So I recognize him from that. I think he actually had, I want to say he had Leonard out the gate. So we all know how that one can go, unfortunately.
No pun intended on that. Leonard out the gate.
That was good, wasn't it?
That was phenomenal, actually.
That was good. But he's a great shot. He is. He's just got to produce here, and triples is a beast. It can go either way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're going to see a lot of different winners in this, honestly. This style, this format. This is our king seat match, so it is a race to 4.
So when you're playing triples, at least in the TOC, in my experience and such, as I've not been in the no-cap, I played at Division I plenty of times, and the thing you'll notice, there's the way you build your team, and granted, these are all great shots, but whoever's the hottest always will be going first, and whoever is the most consistent should be going third. That's because you need someone to anchor, set up your shots for your big guy, whoever's feeling hot, to go on top.
By hot, you mean looks, correct?
Depends. I don't see Jules right now, so.
I think Gates may tell you otherwise on that one, buddy.
Well, it's okay. I'm more of a darts connoisseur than a men's fashion connoisseur. As we see Leonard Gates, Jeremiah Millar, and Kyle Liddicky take the first one here. Now, this is going to be a race to 4 since it is the king seat. All cricket for them.
I was talking to Johnny Lackey in the background, who's in there in his red shirt. He said, you know, you guys, your team needs to start matching whatever you're wearing, because you guys are like a trips team. And then I looked at Johnny and I go, Johnny, you're the only one in your team wearing that jersey. He goes, good talk, Sean.
Well, one of the nice things to see in events like this, especially the triples, we're looking at some teams where all the players are from the same area, been practicing together, ready for this, and then you kind of see those almost like super teams, you know, where they're picking the best players, combining them into one. Gates, Millar, Liddicky, obviously, from different parts of North America, and then Hunter, Galloway, and Wright, all from the same Star City area, which is a factor. The chemistry of playing and practicing in person with your partners does add a certain X factor to all this.
You're absolutely right. I think that having a chemistry will help to a certain point. In triples, it's really hard to say if it does help because of how long you have in between throws. You almost have to just focus on yourself. Now, being able to pump up your partners, communicate with them, especially when you're communicating with 2 instead of 1, might make all the difference. Well, I think you're spot on there.
And you nailed another point right on the head. There's so long in between when you throw to when you're going to throw again. It's hard to not only stay warm during that because you're not supposed to be practicing on the other boards while this is going on, right? So you're already having trouble staying warm, but your misses are a lot more impactful than they otherwise normally would be because you're only going to get maybe 3 to 5 attempts on average.
Yeah.
And that's all you're going to have, and you need to make them count. And at this level, you might only get 1 or 2 attempts, as if someone's playing perfect. That's a lot of darts before you actually get to go your next time.
So I have actually never been in a tournament where we have played all cricket trips. Give me a little rundown on the difference between that and 701, which is a typical trips team type of game.
So 701 is actually going to be something you're going to see in the middle bracket here for game 2. On the winner side, it does stay in the all cricket. The thing is, like I mentioned earlier, the difference maker is you need whoever can start the strongest, whoever is consistently hitting bigger rounds to go first. You need to have a big opening. Even if you're all equal in ability and talent, whoever's feeling it in that moment, you set them as your starting order, and you always confirm with the team, hey, who's in charge of the starting order here? Who's pushing the button to hit the game screen? Because if there's 3 of you, you shouldn't be the one hitting the button to start the game, right? And then on top of that, you know, you want to make sure whoever's the most consistent is actually going to be your C spot. You want them to anchor you. You want them to make sure that they're setting up their A player for nice big turns on their next go round.
So here's my question for you. What if you're in, like, I don't know, Division 8? You don't have a hot hand. You don't have a consistent player. What do you do with those?
You know, it's funny because the strategy does change at different levels. While usually I always played in Division 1 or Division 2, as there is no cap for the remote tournaments for their monthly triples. They do a triples like this every month. So I would always play in Division 1 or 2, but there was times where, you know, myself being a 4.0 70 rated player would play with a 1.5 and a 2.0. I would play with, you know, partners that were lower to bring it down, and so you'd have one really strong player that has to perform and 2 other players that uses their average to bring them down to a lower level. And that's something you kind of see a lot at lower levels. And also, the other thing is, that brings up the argument, is it better to have 3 players of equal skill or 1 really hot player and a couple of other players that are of lower skill level than their A player? Which, of course, in the no cap, everyone is just going to be a great shot. But that's definitely some of the strategy when you're building teams, because there's 20 divisions. It's not just the no cap that's out here. There's 168 plus boards in this hall, and there's 20 plus divisions.
Yep. You're right on there, bud. Make a good point.
I was going to say, I don't know. You covered it all right there in the tracks.
Well, I played they have this All-Star Trips every single month. I played in the last 6 years at least 30 of them, if not more, consistently placing, and there's been as many of last places as there has been, you know, top 3s, because it's so much dependent on how well not just you're playing, but you have to be playing well with your team. You have to have high spirits. You have to be in the right headspace as well. If you're not going with your team and getting breakfast beforehand, you know, you're not having that camaraderie, and when someone misses, you're not making them smile and forget about it, then you might not be in a good space to be doing well in these tournaments.
Yeah, so you're telling me that if someone makes plans to go to breakfast with someone and you're on the same team, you should probably just show up to breakfast with that someone?
Oh, who did that one?
You know, it's really weird. I can't believe Will stood you up for breakfast.
No, he did that yesterday. Today was you.
That is true. I got down here a little bit earlier, and I forgot to let you know that I was down here working, so I do apologize, as I was not there to butter your biscuits.
You should have just told him to grow up a little bit there, Nick.
David says only a 7.29. It's funny, when you have only 1 or 2 throws or a handful of throws, your averages are going to be a lot higher, too, when you look at a tournament like this, in an event format like this.
Well, and you're really good. Like we see there, the 7 mark from Leonard Gates. Taking a 2-0 lead in this race to 4. Zach Hunter stepping up. Nice smooth shot.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful throw right there.
Well, it's even better now. Boom goes the dynamite, Zach Hunter.
And then for those that have not seen Sean in the hall by chance, for the people watching that are here, Sean is rocking the Boom Goes the Wisconsinite jersey. He's actually secretly a big Packers fan as well, so he does love the color scheme on it.
Based on how my team did yesterday, I'll take Packers. Jeremiah Millar does his patent wave off a 6 mark.
Well, he wanted a 9 there is really what he needed, because now Keith has a chance to shut down and do some damage, but it doesn't seem to be in the cards there.
No, Keith's going to stay up there all 3 darts.
Yeah, he needed a triple before he could consider doing anything else. Kyle here now has a 9 mark to flip the tables.
I actually did see, as I was walking in today, a Boom Goes Dynamite jersey from someone, which is really nice.
So before you got down here, after I stood you up for breakfast, I was going around the hall, grabbing some pictures, making some small talk with people. Anybody that had a CSC jersey or a Boom jersey, I said, can I please get a picture? I love the shirt. Where'd you get it? Blah, blah, blah. As I'm wearing the CSC jersey and everything else. And they're like, yeah, this guy's a tool.
Especially because if they're wearing it, they probably know you already.
Me? Who? I'm not the GOAT Will Stewart.
Yeah,
The
but we
Boom
hear
guy.
your voice sometimes, and you have a pretty distinctive voice. Would you agree with that, Will?
Agree.
Good talk. Good dynamite drop in from Will Stewart.
Well, Zach here needs to do a dynamite drop of his own. First, our triple gets the point lead, so he's actually. Oh, look at that! Wrong guy almost walked up the throw there. It's hard to keep that organized. But Zach, first our triple gets in the point lead. I imagine he's staying there for the first two, especially the way he's been hitting those 18s.
Yeah.
That was 4 in a row for him.
Yeah, if I'm Zach and my partner's up right now, I kick him out too.
If he tripped that second dart, he without a doubt was going back downstairs. It's a little dicier though. Jeremiah Millar now. First our triple gets him the point lead. He kind of has the inverse of what we just saw. He's going to stay.
He's going up. Yeah, that movement showed me that he was going to go up. He wasn't happy that he had to go up there.
Good call.
But stole it anyway. He really wanted 2 trips before he moved, but he knew that the bare minimum was 4 in his mind, so that's what he did.
Well, it looks like he's going to get away with it. I mean, right now, here's the other thing that you're going to keep in mind as a player in a triples format. Millar could take that risk because at least on Galloway's last attempt, it was not very strong. And right there again, it was not very strong. So maybe he was banking on that fact. Because you do think, who's the hot hand right now that I'm going against? And really, am I more worried about A, B, or C?
Well, right now, they have to be worried about A, B, and C if you're the team of Hunter, Galloway, and Wright, because there's A, and A on the other team that you're playing.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I can't say you're wrong, but what I will say is I talked with Millar, and so did you, very briefly beforehand. There was a couple of matches that they nearly lost on the Bulls. They've been having a lot of struggle closing out games and finishing strong. I actually watched Austin Braswell's team. I believe he's playing with Brian Dennis as well as I need to look at the third. But Austin Braswell had a shot to win Game 3. He just needed 3 Bulls and 2 15s, and he almost had it. And that would have been a huge upset. I mean, as much as I love my Florida players, that would have been huge. And he said that was not the first time that happened today. Johnny Lee and the Knoxville team with Isaac Robinson and them almost took them out as well, just because they couldn't close out a game. And that's going to be the kind of running theme is, can you finish as strong as you started?
Well, that's why if you watch that last round, Soldier actually hit a bull on Dart 2 before moving to the 16s, 15s. That might have a lot to do with, hey, we've been struggling on the Bulls, let's get rid of that.
Well, it makes it so, yes, absolutely. It does add that insurance policy as, hey, we haven't been struggling. But here's the other big factor. Now, if you're on those 15s versus 19s, you can almost never take that risk unless you have a definitive point lead, not just a small point lead, because that extra bull, there's already a low chance they're going to miss 3, let alone 2.
Yeah. Well, Kyle Liddicky, chance to win the match right here.
Lids.
Well, win the leg. It is raised to 4. One more bowl, do it. Got one more bowl. How about 2? He pointed again. What a jerk. 6.0 from Kyle Liddicky. And they go up 3-0.
So one of the things with PPD is when they track averages, there's 3 different averages that they can pull from, and whichever one's your highest is the average they use. DRTs, those daily remote tournaments we've talked about time and time again. Mm-hmm. Then after that, you have your league, so whatever you average at after a full season of you playing at least 2 matches. Or 3 major tournaments, which would be TOC, the All-Star Triples, the Nationals. Those take the last 500 darts. So you see a 6.0, it's counting them in relation, excuse me, to all those other darts.
It's probably because he's like, man, we suck so bad, he's starting on the Bulls.
Oh, boy. Zach now with a pretty good chance to start this team off strong. He was lethal in those 18s last game.
He's tall. I'm really happy he doesn't stand there all the time.
No, here's the other issue. 4 off the spin for Hunter Galloway Wright to take this match. Looking pretty scary for them. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah. Gates, Millar, and Lidicky are becoming more comfortable with each other every day, and you can tell. There's just a comfortability that's now there. And once this all-star team, let's call it an all-star team, gets that comfortability, it might turn into a dream team type scenario where they're almost unbeatable.
It's also just, unless they are pushing their limits, these guys are no strangers to the face of pressure. And that's going to be the difference maker for them, is that they're just that good. That being said, there's so many good teams in this no-cap triples right now. And right now, first place, $1,188. That's going to be split 3 ways. And then they also will get a share right now. I believe Kyle and Leonard, but not Jeremiah, are in part of that 50K pool.
Yeah, talk to me about that. The 50K pool, we have numbers now.
Yes, so the 50K Supercharger, as we've explained in the past, but a quick refresher here, for all doubles and triples wins, so that excludes the CSI and that does exclude the finale, but all doubles and triples wins for events like this that have been going on the floor the entire time those events were going on. Each person that wins gets a share of that $50,000. Right now, in total, people that were in the Supercharger pool have gotten 77 total shares of it, each share being worth, at that point, $679. Now, some people have won 2, 3, or 4 times, so they're talking, you know, an extra $1,800 even.
Yeah.
Of course, by the end of today, this will be the last day for the main events like this, so, or the main floor events, I should say. So we will see by the end of today how much those shares are worth and who the top earners really are, because there's going to be some sleepers that are playing Division 20, Division 12 even, that are making $1,800 after today. I mean, that's insane.
That is insane. That is absolutely insane. But we have a couple players that have won a ton of money. Jules Van Doggen has already won 10K for one tournament. 10K.
Like 10,000 like American US dollars?
Yeah.
Wow. Get his accountant on the phone there. That's amazing to see. And then Chrissy Grimble, of course, winning $5,000 in the women's CSI.
Yeah. That I do know was split. As I'm not sure, but as you would assume would be the case with Jeremiah and Soldier, or not Jeremiah and Soldier, Jules and Soldier. But you never know.
You never know, indeed. Todd saying, cha-ching. That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
You see Fred here doing a good stand, as this has been a little bit of a point battle, but I'm thinking with the Bulls in the back pocket here, they're in prime position to win this one pretty quickly.
Look at this. Boom goes the dynamite, Leonard Gates.
Hashtag BGTD.
Yep.
Zach to make a stand on the 15s, but you can't help but say that this one's all but over, even if he does hit a 9 here.
Zach impresses me.
It's a good throw.
It is
it's
a really
real
good throw.
But there's players like that. There's players that could easily be in the no-cap, easily be in the CSI even, that are playing in bracketed events out there because they are playing for their share of the pool, or maybe they were just outside the top 500 in the case of the CSI. And that's why you're seeing some real heavy hitters out there. Millar with a little fist bump there.
Big one, Mark. Yeah, talking about the walk-on, how about Jeremiah's entrance yesterday?
You know, I love how he had his water buckets ready to go.
He was working out before he went out there, so...
So at the other end of the bracket, the loser of this match will be playing the winner of whatever is going on board 1D. There's, of course, a lot of names there, so I'm going to kind of save it for that. That being said,
there's the match.
Kyle Lidicky.
A 7.0 from Kyle Lidicky.
729-6070. Kyle's been the closer for that team.
Kyle, the closer at Liddicky, getting it done. 4-0 scoreline.
Currently on board 1B, we do have Kenny Doyle, Nick Slepik, and Sugar Shane Johnson against Isaac Robinson, Johnny Lee, and Jonathan as well. But there's a couple of good matches going on here.
Yeah, that game hasn't started yet, so we're going to go over to board number 4 for this one. As looks like we got Tommy Campbell, Daniel Floyd, Dancing Danny, as I call him.
Last chance.
He's in the last chance, so let's go ahead and take a peek at this one.
Yeah, these are 2 of your Missouri guys. They added some third guy from South Dakota.
Never heard of him. Scott Hanish. The
is that him?
commenter, the chatter, if you will.
Chatter extraordinaire. Got himself a 6 mark. He knows now that we're watching him.
And his
He
last
saw that
start
camera
was
turn.
aiming at the single 3. He does it for confidence building.
So I know Tommy Campbell looks really big out there and really tall. It's because he is. As Travis Wilkinson steps up. Travis Wilkinson.
Travis Wilkinson,
Former CSC participant.
CSC participant,
Yes.
but also if there was a person here to win the sportsmanship award, would be him, and the way he handled the the board issues that we had at the CSC, the tournament error that we had. He was the kindest soul about it and shook hands, was able to just smile, laugh it off, and say, "Just wasn't my day then." And he is the class act of class acts for sportsmanship.
I'll give him a big shout out. We were at Whammo this year, and we had our fair share of struggles with the internet, but he was one of the guys that was always coming up to us and saying, "What can I do to help? What can I do to help? I know a little IT. What can I do to help?" And he was helping us almost more than some of the IT guys were at the actual venue.
I have no doubt about that. Just shows how much he is as I've said before, a promoter of the game, not just a player of the game.
All right, here's our first look at Tyler Feltz.
What you got for us, Tyler?
Good shot.
Nothing wrong with that. I do think that staying on the 17 your first 2 darts is a safer pick. There's no reason if you're only gonna hit if a single deflected you from the 19 anyways, might as well shoot on your 3rd dart. Personal take on that. Although it looks like it does not change too much about this particular scenario.
Scott does get back the point lead. This is just a race to 1. Last chance bracket. One of these teams will be done for the morning session after this match.
That's crazy to say, as there has already been one team eliminated from this bracket, and this is decide who's the 2nd team eliminated from here. And then the winner of this will get the winner of board 1B.
Kind of keeping an eye on that one. That one hasn't started as well, so we'll keep it right here for the conclusion of this last leg decider. Although I don't think we would switch anyways. When it's the last leg decider, it's meaningful darts the whole way around.
Absolutely.
So, pressure killer.
Well, Matt Bella throws in a big 6 mark.
Plus, some Dancing Danny's always good content. Stan Hanish is there too. You know, we rag on him a lot, but he actually is a really nice guy, for the record. At least to our faces. Maybe not so much in chat.
Who?
Scott Hanish.
Let me just look at him back there. He doesn't look like a nice guy.
Is that right? Well, you know who doesn't look like a nice guy, but is a nice guy? Is Tommy Campbell. He looks very big and scary, and I mean in the most loving way, but he's actually such a cool guy to talk to.
He's very nice.
Speaking of, he has taken the Tower of Power and running with it. He said, "I've got a jersey getting made, buddy."
There you go.
I
said,
love
"You're dang
it.
right, my man."
I love
There
it.
we go. Love it.
Samantha Hanish saying he's a cute guy. You were paid to say that.
Yeah, Samantha, get out of here with that nonsense. He needs to grow the stash back. Get rid of the undercarriage there. The old beard.
Oh, it's almost Christmas time. He's trying to be Santa Jr.
You're welcome, Sean.
I don't think Samantha wants him to get rid of that.
Travis needs the single. Not happy with that wasted dart there, but does get the job done, leaving Tommy with a chance, though, to regain control.
Is Tommy fighting a little bit of release, or is that just his throw?
I think it's just his throw. Well, to be honest with you.
Is that just Tommy's throw, or is he fighting a little bit of a release issue?
I'll have to take a peek. I've been working on the other laptop here, doing some updates on our old streams that we've been doing here throughout the week, making sure we get some new thumbnails and stuff on there. So I'll have to take a peek. He does have a very unique release, though. I know that for a fact.
Okay. So sorry, I just wanted to ask him since he knows Tommy pretty.
No, I
pretty
mean
well.
I understand. That's it's a legend of Will Stewart. I respect his opinion more than my own as well. Tyler here, to seal up this one game, needs to get rid of those 15s before Scott goes up there and misses them. I really do love you, Scott Hanish. I am sorry. I just had to. One more time. That was the last jab at you.
Instead, Tyler goes all point. What do you think about that?
It's not bad, but I do think at some point someone's going to take the risk, and you hope it's not against you. Let's say it like that. Because, I mean, right there.
There's a big six mark from Scott Hanish.
I would not put it past Scott Hanish to actually 9-mark that, right? Trip 15, trip 15, trip 17. All of a sudden, in a situation where you had the point lead and could have closed, the inverse happened to you. It's very scary to do it the other way around and just overly point and not get enough. Right there, I do think Travis on the third dart, there's an argument for him to take a look.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a little aggressive, but there's one game, and Tommy's. I expect him to 9-mark behind me. I expect any of these players to 9-mark behind me, and if I'm not a 9-mark ahead, I gotta stop them from having winning darts in hand.
And no, that answer is that's his release.
Okay.
Yeah, that's his release. He has a very little bit of a pause there at the front of his darts, and that very well could be a suffering downfall when it comes to timing. Yep. I mean, just that little added second could cause issues.
You got to be on top of it.
Yeah.
Round 15 to 20. This one might go the distance, but it's getting to the end. Let's see who takes the final jab, the uppercut, the left hook.
Danny throws in 3, not excited about it, but gets the point lead back.
If Tyler hits 4 marks on that 17, he should look. Anything less than 4 marks, I can understand staying. But if you hit at least 4 marks on the 17, you have to take a look. Someone's going to take that risk first. It's going to stay there now.
Yep. Gets 4 of them. Feel like we're doing a little Groundhog's Day here, but it is round 16. Scott going to look back over the 15s.
Does get the point lead back, but it is right now back and forth, back and forth. At this point, the round out is looking almost inevitable. Round 17 of 20. This will be, believe, only one throw left for each player. Other than these guys, will get one more throw at the very end as well.
Travis looked at the close there on dart number 2.
Someone's going to take that risk first. It's about who hits it.
If Tommy hits the trip first dart, he might look at it.
Here's the thing, though. That when playing with a round out, it's scary. He has to get it.
He gets it.
Get it. All right. Right now, round 18. 18 at 19 and 20. 3 shots left from each team.
See what Matt can do.
You can get mathematically eliminated on those points. He needs to close the 15s, and that's the right call.
Yep.
Now it's just a race. Who hits the bowls first? If they round out, the team of Daniel, Scott, and Tom will win at this point.
Well, it's asking Danny a question. Are you going to hit 3 bowls or not?
Can he dance on the bullseyes?
Yeah. It's a great first dart. And he does not convert. And now Matt Bella, Tyler Felds.
That was really close.
Is going to step up here. Just needs 4 of them. Well, now needs 3.
2 to close and 1 to get up.
You can see the nerves are non-existent.
Just one more of those.
And that will do it. Danny's not going to feel happy about it.
And that's a tough match. That's one of those gritty ones where you're grinding your teeth, and there's nothing to be ashamed of on either side there because this is a tough tournament that we're watching.
Wow. And looks like we were watching that affair. That one ended really quick on board number 2.
Yeah.
It ended very quick.
Like lightning?
Like probably less than a 3-4 minute game, I would imagine. It was a very, very fast paced affair. So it looks like we don't have any matches available on our streaming boards as of right now. We may have one playing out on our middle boards. Let me go ahead and double check. It looks like Brian Dennis is over there, Ken Rip as well. So yeah, maybe we'll just take a quick overhead shot, throw some background music so you guys can enjoy this match before we have our next one on the stream. So bear with us for a second. We'll get that set up for you folks.
Don't go anywhere.
We'll be right back. Well, 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 we're back here live at Kansas City, at the CSI for the, you start.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nick Dichiria. Wow, wow, wow. We are back here ready to go. I am joined by Sean Green and Will Stuart as well.
Will, terrible drop in there to start off with.
We are ready to go here. Looking at another last chance game. We got the Knoxville amusement team going against the D&D amusements team to see who plays Brett, Ken, and Rick in the 5th place match. Right now, we just watched Travis Wilkinson earlier alongside with the rest of the D&D team. Sean, who do you got here?
Well, you got Wisconsinites doing battle with some East Coasters from New York. I feel good about both teams. We've seen Johnny Lee and Isaac do very well this weekend. They play together all the time. Man, this is gonna be real close. One leg has to favor Travis and the D&D team. I would believe.
Well, and earlier...
Unless you do that, it's Johnny Lee. Boom goes the dynamite.
Johnny Lee been playing great today. Him and the rest of the Knoxville team actually gave Millar, Gates, and Liddicky a good run, from my understanding.
Well, Matt Bella right back into the triple as well.
Nice round of 7 there. Jonathan Long needs to regain the points, needs to get the 18s out of here. Can he do it all in one turn?
Our first look at Jonathan Long from the weekend. Only gets 2 19s. Not enough. Not enough for the Reaper. Tyler Feltz has to capitalize on it, though.
Can Feltz feel this? Finds the 18s.
Well, he felt it just fine. Gets 7 of them.
See, you laughed at it, but then you realized you liked it.
No, I hated
my commentary.
it. But mine was better.
Also, the same in relation to my commentary.
Isaac rushing a touch. Wow. So you're Johnny Lee. You're sitting there. You go 9 mark to take control of the match. And then your partners go 2 mark, 2 mark.
It's an inevitability of playing the triples format. Is it's not just about how well the individual is doing, but how well the entire unit is doing. Travis Wilkinson's doing good, though.
And he's doing well, which is grammatically correct.
Grammarly correct?
And grammatically correct.
Wow.
Here's Johnny Lee. He's going to look over the 16s or 15s.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Go, Johnny, go. They need to. That's a tough blocker. He knows it. He knows that this is not the situation that he wants to be in. 1 game only. He's in one of those to help.
Johnny only a 3 mark there is not going to be enough. Matt Bella is probably going to get rid of the 16s right away. Bye-bye. 15s.
Adios.
I love the 16-15 transfer.
Hasta luego.
And a double bowl to boot. Huge 8 mark. Almost cements the game right now.
And this guarantees them a 5th place, so keeps them alive now in a very tough field to move on to play Brett, Ken, and Rick in the 5th place match. And then also we have another match going on board 1B that we'll be switching to after this one is wrapped up over here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, comment, share it out to your friends. If they're not watching this, then what are they doing? They're not bowling, that's for sure.
Well, Tyler Feltz, not bowling either, but bowling down the competition. 5.14 gets the job done. I picked correctly. I'm 1 for 1.
That's about 100% accuracy.
It is just about that.
And there we go. We're seeing Mr. Dennis here, as his shirt would otherwise say.
Do you mean Mrs. Dennis?
All the above. Allie's somewhere in the room. Allie Dennis is somewhere around there. There's Austin Braswell as well. Braswell as well. There's like a little ring to it.
Brian's back there messing with Johnny Lee.
And then Mike Carter, of course, no stranger to the stream. As we get a little wave there from Austin.
He said hello.
So it looks like the players are going to take just a moment here to get everything set up and raring to go. Because they are going to there we go. Look at the good camera work from Mr. Will Stewart in the background there. As we're waiting on Fred, Keith, and Zach. Look at those boys, ready to throw some darts.
Look how focused. Has not blinked yet.
Oh, wow.
Wow, wow, wow.
Wow, wow, wow. Well, folks, it looks like it's going to be a quick moment here before we are able to get everything going on this board here. So we're gonna take a quick look at our bracket real quick, see what's going on, see where the players are at, and see what action is coming your way. Sean, what do you got for us?
Well, quickly, let's look at the bracket quickly. You can see right there, Matt, Travis, and Tyler are both all going for the 50K bonus pool. Playing on 1A at 11:03 is when they were supposed to start that. That's Central Time. Johnny, Isaac, and Jonathan.
I don't think we need to be that zoomed
No,
in,
you said
my
zoom
man.
in, so I'm just giving you what you want. They play, whoever wins that one, which let me remind you, let me scroll the way up here. Matt, Travis, and Tyler, or Isaac, Johnny, and Jonathan. Well, whoever won that one.
Oh,
we'll be playing
my.
now in our 5th place spot.
So we're into our 5th place, top
Hold on, let me
5
get
here.
closer here so you guys can see for sure. 5th. That's what we're going for here. All right, sorry. That's my bad. We'll zoom out. This will be the last time he gives me any type of...
Yeah, this will be the last time we check out this bracket. For those that are wondering, if you want to actually look at the bracket, go to CompuSport.
There's
Check it out
1B
for yourself.
that is going on currently. Fred, Keith, and Zach taking on Austin, Brian, and Mike. That is a race to 2 on the loser side. Cricket, 0-1 Cricket. Our king seat is being filled right now by Kyle Liddicky, Leonard Gates,
And their backpack.
and a third guy.
Dang cheaters. Just kidding. Oh, no.
Jeremiah Millar being the other one over there.
Who?
Some
I don't
random
know.
guy.
Actually, didn't you do an interview with him earlier?
I did.
You did.
Let's watch that.
Well,
20
Will
minutes
doesn't
in
have
its
the,
entirety
I
right
was
now.
gonna say, Will does not have that one yet, but we will have to take a look at that later on because he does have some wise words to say.
Hey, there's Fred.
Did make a joke yesterday. I was like, yeah, Sean or Nick, man, it would be great if I could play this interview with you and Meredith, but it's 7 minutes long, and then Sean just outdid him with a 12-minute.
You can't skimp out on quality, Will. There
No.
are some great gold nuggets from these players, and we're here to dig it out of them.
Well, honestly, what our plan is we're going to get all our CSC Challenger Series people, and we're going to be releasing those probably within the week in its own, just so you can get a little preemptive
The goal
for
is
a finale.
The goal is to highlight not just the great matches, but also there's some great insights and some of those subtleties that kind of get missed out on that you don't get to know until you talk with somebody one-on-one and get to learn a little bit about the insights, learn about it. And as these players will tell you in a lot of their interviews, the way you get better at darts is by learning from people better than yourself. And that's why it's nice, because every person I interview is already better than me at darts.
Well, that's for sure. I did beat you 10-5 a couple days ago.
I can't even count to 10 to 5.
That's probably why I beat you. Brian Dennis, earlier today had some controversy. He was wearing the wrong jersey. It said Mrs. Dennis on the back of his jersey. And, of course, the curious character that Jeremiah Millar was had to go up and ask him about it. To be like, oh, what's the funny joke about this? Nope, he was wearing his wife's jersey.
And you know, it's funny because he's such like a straight shooter, like very even keel guy, and so the fact that that happened, you could see the look of despair. I could imagine, as we are now in our diddle.
Well, I'm sure he sprinted. really can't tell where Fred's is. Is it closer?
It's really hard to tell from our
I
angle.
think that's same.
Let's talk about our format here. This is the top of the middle bracket.
Nope.
Loser gets 4th. Winner gets 3rd. Race to 2. Cricket, 701 Crickets. Fat Bull open out for that 0-1 game.
Yes, the top of the middle bracket. The team of Fred, Keith, and Zach just lost the king seat match to Jeremiah, Soldier, and Kyle Liddicky 4-0.
Ooh.
But Fred coming out on fire here.
Stacking them right up.
Big 7 mark from Fred Wright. Here is Brian Dennis, Skybox legend.
Brian Briz Dennis, as the back of his jersey now says Briz. One of those shooters that has a nice little like double cock motion when he throws a little forward and then back action. And one of those things where, like, when he is on, that is lethal, the way he throws the dart. But Zach Hunter is also one of those other smooth strokers we've seen today. Zach Hunter, I believe, is newer to the sport as well. I think he's only been playing for about 1.5 years, give or take. That's what I've been hearing from my sideline reports. So it's interesting to see when you see players like Austin Braswell as well, only been playing for just under 2 years and really not getting hooked until he played in NDA.
Big dart there from Mr. Galloway.
And it's one of those interesting factors when you see someone that's new to the game pick it up and learn so quickly. You know, we could say it's abnormal. But, of course, then there's Austin, there's Zach Hunter, there's even Jules that is someone that just kind of picked up a set of darts and naturally said, you know what, I'm better than you.
Yeah, I hate all of them. There is a hatred for all of those guys. But Zach Hunter is one of those guys, based on his shot, and Austin's the same way. Look out for like that new wave of players that's going to come, and if they stay with it and stay focused and try to become one of the best, those two guys have the talent to do so.
Darts post-COVID kind of showed there's a lot of new people getting introduced to the sport, and there's a lot of things that are going to be changing with the pro-level scene, the top upper echelon, if you will, with all these new faces that you're going to be seeing a rise from the woodwork.
Well, here is one of those players we talked about, Zach Hunter. And because we said a whole bunch of nice things, he only gets a 2 mark.
But it's a 2 mark that he needed. You have to close that number. They do have a solid 78-point lead, which means that a 9 mark will not flip the table, as I've been saying, for Mike Carter here. A very uncharacteristically weak round from him, as he is one of those throws that you expect him to hit every time.
Galloway's been shooting very well. He's wearing the Soldier Why Not hat.
I love that hat, for the record. It's one of my favorites. Only second to the new USA Darts hat, which you can actually find on the USA Darts pages.
And you're just here so you don't get fined.
And I'm here because I don't get fined.
No, not because you don't get fined. So you don't get fined. It's okay. It's a reference to a sporting athlete.
Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, sports ball.
Oh, boy. I like it better when you pretended that you didn't know what we were talking about.
It sounded more just innocent, maybe.
And a close there from Fred. Game 1 right now, looking to go the Texans' way.
Brian Dennis needs a miracle to get them out of this one. But it looks like they're going to game 2. Now, you've heard me hammer this home on the doubles that we've covered in the evening.
Yeah.
But the 0-1, really the team that goes first at this level in the no cap should win 90% of the time, unless there is an error or the team behind them decides to shoot a 9-darter instead of a 10-darter.
Well, it's a 701.
Yes.
Does that throw a little cog into your prediction
It
there?
doesn't throw a little cog into it because, again, you expect all these players to be able to hit a hat trick every time. The difference is they're not. It's going to be a lot harder to outshoot them by going the triple route. So I expect that the team going first here will win, and if they don't, it's an error on their part.
I think the team that's going to win this one is the team that hits the out first.
And you know, I really do believe you. And I actually can't even prove you wrong. Right, it is right now. Prove me right, starting off with a hat trick.
Hey, Sean, remember that John Madden statement you made yesterday? Okay,
And they're here, and they're playing darts.
I like how you just like barely changed your voice and thought it was John Madden's.
Mike Carter stepping up here, trying to keep the perfect game going and expand that lead as much as possible, as we only saw a one-bowl start for the other team here.
Well, wait a second. You don't just automatically hit bowls in this game?
Dustin Holt asking an interesting question. What are your guys' opinions on wearing earbuds while playing? Personally, I don't have an issue with it, but I will never do it in a team event. And I really don't even do it in singles, but especially in a team event, I don't want to ever have my partner feel like they can't tell me something that they want to say, and vice versa.
Big facts. Cost Jules Van Dongen a little bit yesterday. Although he won, he actually did have a moment where a mark was closed, and he went after it, 6 marked. I think he actually ended up having a 9 mark overall, but it only counted for 3 because that number was closed.
Correct.
And he didn't know because he didn't have his buds in. Apparently people were trying to tell him, and he didn't know. Rick Kinsey stepped up, whop, 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 9 marked foul. He said, what just happened?
And he would have been able to hear the board as well.
Yep.
And even in singles, I mean, that's a good reason why you shouldn't do it in singles ever. I personally, if you're going to end up making
Look at Keith.
If you're going to be able to make it up to a big level in darts to make it on the PDC stage, stuff like that, you kind of have to get used to playing with the room, playing with the environment around you. And the only time I ever think earbuds are actually more than okay is in remote tournaments, because sometimes you have to be your own hype man because there's no one else in the room except for people that you got out there to watch your match.
Okay, so I actually have a personal soapbox experience with this. Playing a trips tournament at a bull shooter, regional bull shooter. Drove 2 hours just to play this one event in Fort Wayne. Paid for parking. It was a double elimination tournament, as those would be. We rolled through the first 2 matches. My partner, who is notorious for wearing his earphones, Game 5, race to 3. So Game 5, last leg. He's sitting with trip 18 left. He has 3 darts. It's open out. He times out. He timed out because he couldn't hear us shouting at him to throw a dart.
So he doesn't time out.
Because he was not paying attention to the timer.
That's a silly way to lose a leg.
And a match. And eventually the tournament.
And
a friendship.
other than trying to stay focused in a remote event where you're not in a tournament hall and you might not even have other dart players around you, there's no
Bullseye.
other times where I really think it's okay. Good shot there from Austin Braswell, showing once again the team going first and 701 at this level will typically win.
All right, so leg 3, they're going to diddle, correct?
Yes.
Fred stepping up already.
Gonna throw that one again.
Well, not the exact same one. He's going to throw a second dart.
He could have grabbed it if he wanted.
Man, even with the camera moving, he still hits a bull. There's a moving target and everything.
It wasn't the camera moving, it was the board getting picked up and carried around. Tommy Campbell grabbed it and just said, I want to move it over here now.
Tommy Campbell. Why you got to pick on Tommy? Why does it got to be Tommy? Jeremiah could move the board.
If you could reach it.
Oh, my gosh. Well, let's see if he brought a shank or not.
For those that didn't know,
I know that if he threw a dart, he couldn't hit me with it.
Jeremiah may or may not be directly behind us right now.
Not in like a creepy way, though, guys.
So-
like,
Yeah, I was going to say, you have to specify, like, just in the room, not, like, breathing down or anything. Fred, to start us off.
Starts it off well. He 7 marked this the last time he got the start. Looked like he's at least going to do that here. How about 9? Boom goes the dynamite. Fred right. Starting it off right.
I'm glad you said it because I was ready with that one.
Would you say he has the right stuff?
If it was Weird Al, he'd have the white stuff.
Ryan Dennis does find a triple on his last, but that's not the start that they wanted in comparison to what Wright did rightly.
All right, Zach, only been playing darts, well, since the tournament started. Already doing really well.
So a year and a half means that he started playing during the COVID remote-only era of darts.
Look at this, back-to-back 9s to start off for this team. He's very talented. I said that. I think he could be the next kind of big deal guy.
Jeremiah says, no, sir. Don't be saying that. Yeah, I mean, I was impressed with his display at Shark Tank Shooting. Of course, you got that big name in front of you, Leonard Gates, quality shot. He did take the L there, but yeah, I mean, honestly, you got players like Austin Braswell, Zach Hunter getting into the mix, and so many more players that have yet to be put out there to the world. This game is growing. This game is growing into big things. It's a 9.
Austin answers with a 9 of his own. Fred perfect so far in this leg. Perfect no more, but
Still perfect to me.
yeah, he's still throwing fantastic
Yeah, I was going to
darts.
say, that is
18s,
great
almost got rid of him. His release is not favorable to my eyes. However, the Texas team is on fire right now.
Dustin Holt responding back to our earlier conversation. I've worn them a couple times, referring to earbuds, but I'm with you on not wearing them in team events. I thought about doing it, but not so sure. But also, there are tourneys where you can't even wear them. I might start doing the Gates move, wear them until you play to take them out, and that's exactly it.
All right, Zach got rid of the 18s and decides to just go ahead and close 16s too. Well, Mike, who's been adopted by Brian and Austin for this, they find themselves behind.
And it
Look at the 5 mark, but that's not going to be enough.
It's looking a little scary for them. So the loser of this will play Brett, Ken, and Rick in the 4th place match, and the winner will be waiting in the 3rd place match with only 1 loss under their belts in this triple elimination format.
Yeah, so neither team will be out after this match, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Absolutely.
110%.
Right. Austin here trying to stave off what looks to be almost inevitable from the other team as they're mounting a great performance and a very dominating game 3.
And he only gets 2 marks on the 15s. Fred got rid of the 15s. And now going for the win. And now going for the win. 1 bull. Got it. There it is. The Texan team moves into the 3rd place as their worst finish they can have. Now here's the deal though. They're only paying the top 2 spots.
And that's just because this is not a full bracket as well. Just to clarify for anybody wondering, normally they pay out 4 places, but the bracket is not full for the no cap as a lot of people opted to play in the flighted part of this event. So, especially with the fact that it is a triple, so you can flight pretty well with top shots. So it's going to take a little bit for the players to get set back up and get ready for the next match here. So we're going to cut to a brief ad break, and then we'll get the action going right back soon enough.
Yeah, don't go anywhere, guys. Stay with us. Sean Green, Nick Dichiria, Will Stuart will be back after a word from our sponsors.
See you soon.
Month, and we're featuring target darts all October long, starting with our dart of the month, which is going to be the HEMA darts range. Purchase any target HEMA barrel and you're going to receive a free gift consisting of select assortment of 3 target flights. We're also offering select target accessories for a discounted price, including our huge variety of Swiss points, as well as an assortment of shafts that are all red in color. So we've got the Pro Grip Evo shafts, the standard Pro Grip shafts, and also the Pro Grip Ink. So the idea is you can complement your new HEMA barrels and have everything match. We also are offering the black pixel tips, and finally select Tacoma cases. For example, the red ink case, one of my favorites. So match up with your HEMAs. And finally, A to Z Darts is offering a Think Pink promotion. So you can select printed L-Style flights. If you buy 2 sets, you're going to receive a free L-Style goodie bag consisting of flights, Laro shafts, and tips. So that's like a $18 value. So it's a pretty sweet free gift for what you're putting in for the sale. Think pink, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the month of October. Have a great Halloween. Love you. Bye. Now there are 5 total options in the HEMA range, 3 steel tip labeled 01 through 03, and 2 soft tip variants labeled 10 and 11, with multiple barrel weights for each option. Now common themes that they all share are bold, red and black accents along a silver barrel. They all have striking radial grooves in certain sections that are offset by small axial cuts. And all steel tip barrel versions are fitted with smooth silver Swiss points. You can purchase these barrels on our website, a2zdarts.com. Just look for the link in the description, and I hope you enjoyed this review as well as the rest of the 2021 launch. We've reviewed it all, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on future range reviews, as well as our review of the new Target dartboard. Thanks for watching.
All right, here we go. Rick Kinsey, Brian Dennis. Well, I'm not going to rattle off all these names. Let's be honest. You can. No, I'm just kidding. Brian Dennis, Austin Braswell, Mike Carter taking on Ken Rip, Rick Kinsey, and their third. Who is their third? I know him.
It's going to be the third. It's going to be Brett Holiday, I believe.
Yeah, he's been in. Holiday. He's been on the CSC. I knew the face, just couldn't think of the name, as we've had 3 sessions of our CSC Challenger Series now, so it all kind of blends in and meshes into one.
Yep.
Will Stuart here, alongside me, Mr. Nick Dichiria. Sean Green took a moment to hang out with some people out in the hall. I'm sure he just got stopped because
all the fans.
That happens. That happens.
Well, we actually ran into one of our giveaway winners from the CSC, Bobby Ames, that won the Boom Goes Wisconsin jersey.
Oh, he was wearing it.
Yeah, he was wearing it. And he's like, hey, I was the giveaway winner, and so took a picture with Sean, Jules, and Bobby.
Oh, nice. There you go.
I actually went out before this match started and talked briefly with Mike Carter before this. And I was like, hey, I just want to let you know, I hope Austin's not beating himself up out there for some of these losses, because he's playing phenomenal right now considering his level of experience. Braswell is brand new to the game, basically. And Mike Carter's like, yeah, no, if anything, the blame's on my shoulders because of how well he's shooting. I'm hoping he's not being hard on himself right now. As you see Sean Green up there watching the match, watching you guys in chat.
I think he may have caught wind that we were talking some schmack.
Yeah, us,
right.
never.
Never us. All righty, Brian Dennis going at these 17s here. Able to get a 4 mark, but it's not enough to take the lead, as Ken Rip's going to step up here. Probably just attack the 17s. That's what I would do. Over to the 16s, why not go ahead and close those as well? I think he's going to look up. No, he stays right there. He goes 16s. He says no real need to. He was just shy of that 100-point advantage, and he's just going to go ahead and roll with it. Closes those 16s. He was deadly on the 16s and 15s yesterday.
And he's going to remain deadly on them as well. Now we're in a situation here where it's 1 game only left, and while that was an excellent shot there from Mike Carter, I don't think it will be enough, as they're down 3 numbers and points in a 1 game only part of the brackets.
Now, remember, folks, as Sean Green actually popped his phone up. No, I'm just kidding. That was me by accident.
Yeah, what a terrible human being that person is, whoever did that.
No, this is our 4th place match. So winner or loser will be 4th, winner will advance into the 3rd place. So these guys are rolling along fairly quickly this morning. Didn't anticipate that happening.
Well, it's one of those things where when you're talking top-level darts and the fact that it is a triples event, if games can roll over a lot quicker than they otherwise normally would, as it's not as even keel from each player's individual average and how well they're feeling in that particular moment.
Sorry about that, guys. I stepped out for a second and ended up stepping out for a much longer second.
I liked how you stared down our camera,
Yeah,
too.
that's good, right? You see it?
Yeah.
Good. It would have been awkward if I just did that in front of people and they were like, who's this guy? What is he doing?
Who's that random dude? Yeah. I'm sure they still thought the same.
Yes. But as long as you all know, that's all that matters to me.
Brian could use another one of those double bowls.
Hey, this is what I like to see. I want to pop this over real quick, just perhaps as they're going to end it, but see that?
Yep.
Jeremiah taking a moment of time to talk to Zach Hunter after a good performance from him. I think that's good to see. It's good to see.
Well, what was good to see was those 5 bowls from Brian as well. I mean, that was huge. Kinrip does get the point lead cemented back, but that does keep him alive and leaves that outside chance open for the team of Carter, Braswell, and Dennis.
Yeah, Mike's not going to be happy no matter what he does here with this last start, even if he hits a double bowl. Yep. Yep, not enough. Not enough when you have someone as talented as Brett Hollanday coming up behind you. Oh, there it is. Woo, the Minnesota team will move on.
And just congratulations to Austin, Brian, and Mike on a good run. Only getting 4th, not able to cash, unfortunately. But I think as Austin Braswell is brand new to the game, you can see he's having fun with it. Good learning experience for him. Mike Carter, he already won enough this week so far. Brian Dennis, of course, also known. There's Mrs. Dennis, right, by the way, the real Mrs. Dennis in the middle there. On the left, Stacy Braswell as well. And I believe that's Mrs. Carter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. There you go. Did he just blow a kiss? I hope so. He did not, though. Been cooler if he did. There is Austin Braswell throwing some darts. He'll be back. Well, first year at TOC, right?
First year at TOC. He actually only recently got hooked on the game after going to NDA for the first time, NDA Vegas. But now, Brett Holiday, Ken Rip, Rick Hinsey going on against Fred, Keith, and Zach for a third place match here to see who goes to the finals.
Yeah, and again, one of those situations where my screen is loading, so it's taking forever for it to pop up, where if Brett, Ken, and Rick win the first game, which it's cricket, 701 cricket, if Brett and Ken and Rick win that one, because they're sitting right here now, they will have to win a last chance decider against Fred, Keith, and Zach to actually move on to the final. So they have to win 2 matches now in order to do so. If Fred, Keith, and Zach lose the first match, it actually puts them in a worse spot for our king seat, which is Jeremiah, Kyle, and Leonard, because Jeremiah, Kyle, and Leonard just have to win once instead of twice. That's
the intensity and the high octane pressure in front of us here, as we will give those players just a few moments to get set up on the board here, and then we'll get right back to the action shortly here. But of course, I am Nick Dichiria.
Are you?
I am. Joined by Sean Green and Will Stuart of USA Darts. Just give us a few minutes, folks, and we'll be right back to the action.
Don't go anywhere, guys.
Hi, my name is Nick Dichiria with USA Darts, and today I'm joined by Jules Van Doggen here at TOC 2022. Jules, how was your drive in? I know you had to go a long way to get here.
Yeah, it was fairly short. It's nice for once to not have to fly somewhere and just take a 10-minute drive and be here, so that's really nice.
Well, you're a world traveler at this point. I mean, between flying around for all the PDC events and everything else you do, does that ever get exhausting? Is that one of the harder parts of the job?
Yeah, in the beginning I thought it was all cool flying all over, but it gets old pretty quick. The time differences, all that stuff. Now, I'm also not really a fan of England, all the rain. So yeah, I'm glad to be back here, and it's nice and sunny outside, so I'm going to have a good week, hopefully.
Well, good week for you means a lot of great darts. I mean, the expectations are high, as you're one of the best dart players in North America, if not the best dart player in North America. Do you ever feel like that adds a lot of pressure on your shoulders with those expectations that are given to you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you set the bar high for yourself, so whenever you don't win or you don't, take second or third, then you're disappointed. But the way I look at it is I'm not a soft tipper myself. I don't really practice it a whole lot. So anything I take in the soft tip world is a bonus for me. But obviously being here is you want to win. You want to go for first, obviously.
Well, now looking at other dart players' careers at your level, most of them are across 15, 30 years. Your career is a little bit shorter as far as you're newer to the game. Do you think that's going to be an impactful factor as far as when it comes to soft tip strategy and cricket strategy?
Yeah, I think especially when I just started playing soft tip about 2 years ago, I learned the hard way. Play very aggressive, closing numbers, and I'm learning. I'm pointing a little bit more. Yeah, and like I said, I learned that the hard way, playing guys like Gates and Millar and any of the good ones. if you don't have that 3 dart advantage, then they can close it real easy with a 9 mark, and you get in trouble. So yeah, you'll see me point a little bit more this week.
Well, with the CSI, there is 30 participants that are of top notch in average ability and prowess. What do they have to do to beat you on the board?
Yeah, I'm not gonna give that away. Obviously, just throw well. I think the key, especially in cricket, is that first turn. Like the first 3 darts, you have to be a 7 mark a minimum. If you hit a 5 mark, then they can come behind you and close you out already. So the first 3 darts are really important to me in cricket. So.
Well, many people that are going to be watching the TOC stream across the next couple of days here might be watching for the first time darts, might even decide to pick up darts for the first time. For someone that's brand new to darts, what advice would you give them to get started off?
I think especially for if you're a beginner, is have fun, learn, but yeah, mostly have fun. Don't set expectations. Don't look to the better players and think that's where I need to be in the next 6 months. Baby steps, be patient, and eventually, if you have the talent and the right technique, it'll come, it'll happen.
Well, 5 years from now, your career keeps going in darts. Where are you going to be in that career? What's 5 years from now for Jules look like?
Hopefully establish in the PDC, and hopefully it'll come to a point where I have to move to Europe, and because I'm out there all the time. That's the goal eventually. But yeah, I'm looking at myself and having a 5-year plan actually, and just trying to get experience right now and get better and hope for the best.
Well, we're excited to see what comes next for you. Now, this last question for you, it's going to be a little personal. Right now, looking at this dart room, you might be in the best shape compared to any of the other dart players. Do you think that helps with the fact that you might be the best looking dart player on the hockey?
I don't think the looks are going to help, but no, I think being healthy, being in shape will help, and obviously, especially if they're long days, and we're going to be here for 5 days, I think. So yeah, stay hydrated, eat food. That's the most important. Stay healthy.
Well, we're excited. There's $2.3 million on the line. Jules is here to try to grab his stake in the matter. We wish you nothing but the best of luck here. I'm Nick Dichiria from USA Darts, joined by Devin Hunter here at TOC 2022. Devin, you just got into Kansas City, Missouri. How are you doing?
Great. Drive was good. Weather's nice, so.
Are you excited to be back out in the Tournament of Champions once again?
Yes, I love this place. It's like a vacation, but with darts.
Well, I mean, you've been here a few years now. You said your first TOC was in about 2014, give or take. So you've been familiar with the program for quite a long time now. What's your experience been like so far since you started playing in the Partners Providing Darts?
Great. I mean, it's a great company. They do a lot for us, which is awesome. They throw a lot of tournaments, and they pretty much put together this great show at the end of the year, which is awesome.
Well, now you're a part of the CSI, which is going to be some of the best players in the PPD going against each other for a nice big lump sum of money. What's your mindset going into this tournament, knowing there's a lot of big shots in there? I mean, including yourself. This is a tough bracket.
Yes, it is a very tough bracket. There's a lot of great players, but it's a race to 2 on the winner's side and the loser side, first loser side. So it's really just about how good you start and how good you present yourself going into it. Anybody's really beatable at any state, especially when it's a race to 2. If it's a longer race, it'd be a little tougher for some of these big guys, but you just have to have the right mindset going into it.
So with the shorter format, you're going to take a little bit more chances, what you're saying, try to catch someone off guard?
No, you're just going to play a little bit more aggressive.
Okay. And then
Let's go right. There we go. All right. Sorry about that, folks. But wrong button push for me. Whoopsies. Yeah, we're going to have our third place match here. Fred Wright and his team taking on the Rick Kinsey team. with Ken Rip and Brett Hollanday. I think it's Fred Wright, Zach Hunter, and Zach Galloway? No, it's Keith Galloway.
Keith
That's right.
Galloway, yes. And also, I will say Ken Rip would have something to say to you if you called it Team Rick. Now, time to get into the action. It's going to be best of 3 format to start off here. Cricket, 701 Fat Bowl open out. Cricket for the last one. If the team of Brett, Ken, and Rick wins this, then they then have to win a subsequent game of sudden death 0-1 to get back into the finals. On the inverse, if Fred, Keith, and Zach win this in the first best of 3, they just get to go right to the finals. One of those nice idiosyncrasies of looking at a triple elimination bracket here. Will, are you ready for this?
I'm ready, my man. This should be an entertaining one as we find out who's going to meet the hardcore threesome, I'll call them, Leonard Gates, Millar, and Lidicky in the final. They're only going to need to win 1 set to finish out this one, but who's going to meet him? That's the question, as we're going to find out right here. Rick Kinsey and Ken Rip, they were a dominant duo in that first night of doubles action, as they actually finished second to Jules Van Dongen and Mike Carter. So really wondering how they do here. This guy's been a thrill to watch, though, Mr. Zach Hunter.
Yeah, I love seeing new faces on the scene. I love seeing the new energy, and it's nice to go to tournaments and see old friends, to see people you've already talked to. But it's really great to see the new kid on the block taking names and winning titles. Michael Hudson in chat saying, watching from Houston. Thanks, guys, for y'all's awesome commentary. Let's go, Fred. Thank you, Michael.
Yes, definitely. We're glad you like it, because I can't stand going back and watching and hearing my voice. So that's why I've been bowing out on this one, doing some camera work, letting the guys pull the reins, as they say, and kind of lead us. Okay, Tim Allen. Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Look at that 8 mark from Rick Kinsey. Sorry about that, guys. I went out there, and as I'm walking out, I saw Ken and Brett both sitting down on the bleachers. And they said, well, you guys ready to get this thing going or whatever? And I go, no, just warm up for like another 30 minutes. You know, take your time. As I walked out, and then they got going right away.
Well, it's okay. The action is still here for you. You didn't miss much, and it's time to see how this pans out for these gentlemen.
Just a quick reminder about what we got coming your way. Tonight we've got more doubles action, so plan on that from 6 to 9 this evening. And then also tomorrow,
big day.
The big day. The big kit and caboodle, the LOD, the big finale, as they call it. Luck of the draw, $10,000 to each of our participants in the elite finale. Masters finale, I think, is 10 grand for the men, 8 grand split for the ladies, and then 2,500 and 2,000 for the pro bracket.
It's the events the players look the most forward to. Well, of course, the handful of participants for the CSI are very happy to be there. I mean, the finales are built up through playing your qualifiers, sometimes playing multiple qualifiers to try to guarantee which of the divisions for the finale you'll be in. I believe there's 3 this year. And really trying hard to cement your position, because not only is there the biggest prize pool for first, but also you're guaranteed to make money by placing last, and that's the only event to do so.
Rick Kinsey just woke up and chose violence. 9 mark follows his 8 mark from the first time he was up. He's averaging an 8.5, no big deal.
NBD indeed.
The team from Minnesota trying to cut the team from Texas down to making it a 1-loss or a 2-loss for both teams.
And you have to wonder if the people sitting in the king seat here, the people sitting up at top, are hoping that that happens and adds an extra loss to the team, so they are guaranteeing that they only have to beat the up-and-coming team from the bottom bracket only once.
Man, I hate to do this, but I'm going to. the team on the king seat right now does not care what happens from this point forward because it is the team of Jeremiah Millar, Leonard Gates, and Kyle Liddicky. If I'm the three of them, I beat team twice, tomato.
Well, the thing about that is they're sitting there warming up. A few boards down, they are taking this match serious. They want a nice little chunk of change, as it does look like Brett wins that one for the Minnesota guys. But, yeah, they're taking it serious. They're all warming up. Gates is up. Millar, Liddicky. Actually, Millar and Liddicky are playing a match together right now.
Think about it like this. Sure, first place, $1,200, or just shy of $1,200. It's $1,188. But, you know, you're talking $400 a person on your team. But also, Kyle and Leonard have 50K bonus pools attached to their name. If they get first in this event, that's an extra $679 a person at this point with the shares and how they're panning out. So even if it goes down as more people win with that bonus pool, you're talking an extra $600-700 on this, and really a $2,000 first place match for them at least.
Rare miss right at the gate from Hansi, is he?
No. He was just trying to make it even. Evens it up. Now it's just an even 600. Just 12 darts left.
No big deal.
12 bullseyes will do it, bud.
Well, Hunter's going to go 150, I believe. And he does.
Yeah.
Smooth, man. I can't get over it.
The team of Ken, Rick, and Brett, they're going to force this team from Texas just to hit hat tricks because they are the type of team that's not going to miss one of those 12 darts that are remaining. But Keith has been very solid. And he has a great beard. Gets the hat trick.
And Brett needs to make sure he's matching up. A hat trick here will bring it basically at a tie, but the team going first almost always wins at this level in Fat Bull 01.
Oh.
And that does not help the case for the team that won the first leg here.
Although technically, if Rick hits a hat trick, he still leaves a finish for his partner.
He does. And right now, it's getting a little dicey as there's not going to be a finish for the first team.
Yeah, big darts coming up for Rick Hansi.
Yeah, he does not need anything special here. And if I'm his partner, if I'm Ken, leave me the 180.
No, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Leave me the darts to win this thing.
You look right at that number. You're saying 150 all day. Give him an opportunity where the opposing team doesn't. And he
does leave the first look at a finish. But Zach can put a lot of pressure right here.
I expect him to. One more bowl helps a lot, though. An open, 152 is not as good as you're going to have to hit 2 trips with that. So Ken Rip here gets a little pressure off his shoulders.
Oh.
Opts to not even go for it.
He's punting it, going for the win.
I hate that. I'm going to be honest. I hate that move.
I think you take the first start at it.
152 is a relatively doable checkout when you think of this no cap bracket. I mean, it was a very doable checkout.
116 still not as. Now it's not.
I also don't.
You go bull first.
I don't love that shot because you want to make sure you're setting up your partner as best as possible.
Well, that was
you
a good
need to be
miss.
Starting on the bull, even at 152. Even if trip 17 is not the way you would typically shoot that, it's still pivotal that you do.
Well, here's the situation, guys. Brett hits the 116, which he cannot do now.
Wow.
So even though Ken played safe, they still are not going to get this done. Because Fred's not gonna miss this ton out, right?
Granted, they're one ahead. I mean, they are one ahead. They had an opportunity to kind of risk it there, but I think you'd go for the win, no matter what.
Every single time.
That's a bit of a blocker dart. Yep.
It did fling right up. Double 16.
And he doesn't hit it. And Rick doesn't like to win this way. You saw he was kind of like, okay.
This game is a story of back and forth handing opportunities over rather than either team particularly seizing them. But I don't expect Rick to not seize this.
No, Rick, yeah. Almost right in the middle hole.
And now
But that'll do it for that match. However, they still have one more leg that they get to play of cricket. But
to sudden death. Diddle to see who starts, and then one more game. Who do you got here, guys? Let us know in the chat. Let us know in the booth. Sean, Will, who you taking?
Minnesota.
Same.
I'm going to have to agree with you guys on that front.
You
But
could see the way that Fred kind of reacted after that. He was not happy with himself, I don't think, and he kind of apologized to his teammates. If you get in that mindset, it's very detrimental.
Yep, and the Minnesota team will get the start here in this game of cricket. This is it.
right now, let's see what happens. I'm excited to see it. We definitely need to get some of these guys back here for a chat later on, because there are some regulars on our stream now with Brett, Ken, and Rick. And also, I really want to talk with Zach Hunter after this. I want to see, you know, what got him into it, where this drive is coming from, and how he's gotten so good so fast.
Yeah. That's always an interesting question to ask someone. One of my faves that you ask people. Here's Rick.
Last name Hinsey. And Hinsey not starting off the way you would typically expect. That first dart kind of going a little wild on him. Good dart for me, bad dart for him. And that's kind of uncharacteristic. We expect him to go up and start so strong every single time, and that's just because of the amount of respect we have for the guy.
Well, and Fred starts off worse. Only 3. Look for Ken to run a little bit here.
Ken is trying to rip it up. He's going to start up top first.
I bet he's never heard that one before.
Well, now he has.
Moves over, he's going to stay up. Gets the trip.
And that's exactly what you need to do. If you're going to take one dart, that's perfectly fine. If it doesn't hit, you just move on, keep going.
9 mark here from Zach. Brings control back. Not going to do that. He said, oh, come on, man. Not happy with himself. Brett Hollanday. Point. Close. Gets rid of the 19s.
Now, Keith, in this situation, just needs to stay focused. This game is not out of reach, and in fact, it still can very much go the other way. But it requires to get a nice, steady flow going for your team.
Yeah, see, trips in cricket is rough for me, because if you're the person going third, I mean, by the time you get to the line, there's been 5 rounds happening already, and the game is just, they could be out of hand at that point.
And that's one of the inevitabilities. So it's about not putting pressure on your partners in the sense of, like, you just need to keep your mentality relaxed. You don't need to be overly apologizing. As I've said to my partners, you never need to say sorry unless you did something that was wrong. And that's not talking dart strategy. I'm talking about as a person. Otherwise, it's about keeping that mentality up, because the game will fly by. You're going to come back up to a different board state, and you're just going to treat it as such.
Well, Fred gets back the point lead, settling in a little bit more. Of course, he did miss the close in the last leg, but he can't worry about that now. Now he's got to worry about winning this one. Ken gets 4.
Zach with a prime opportunity, though, to kind of flip it, as those 20s need to go away soon, or else it's going to be a big danger zone for Zach and his team.
He's looking at the...
He's blocked, but he's going to want to stay.
Yep.
He tried to force it. I think in that situation, with that
Go
kind
up
of
and get rid
block,
of it.
you want to go up, or even get a second number there. I think either option was fine. I understand the points are necessary, but if there's no room to hit it, there's just no room to hit it. Now, Sean, you obviously have a little bit more of a steel tip background than I do. One of the things I really want to ask you here is, typically in steel tip, if something is blocked, you really can't go after it because you're in risk of knocking out a dart. In soft tip, that same risk isn't there. Do you think that's why people try to push through on more blocked numbers in soft tip darts?
Absolutely. The dart's going to lay the same way unless you have a bent tip. and soft tip. So there are definitely blockers that happen, but you also just learn to adapt to move along the line, that kind of thing. I saw that. I'm just going to stop talking.
Look at the frustration there from Henze. That is not what he wanted to see.
Yeah, because he's blocked on the 16s. He had to move after that first start, exactly like what I was trying to say before you guys rudely interrupted me.
We did not interrupt you. We distracted you, and there is a difference.
My attention was distracted and interrupted.
Does not take much. Me neither, though. The wind blows a different direction. I'm looking around the room. But Fred dialed in and focused and doing what he needs to do to get them back in this leg.
Do you kill the 20s here?
You have to eventually. Some better players than I would argue either way, though.
How about 3 in the bed on the 16s? Boom goes the dynamite. Fred Wright not out of this yet.
Can rip, though. Can still shut the door. That bonus mark on the 15 makes things very interesting as well.
Oh, there's the point lead.
He's going to stay there.
And he's staying there for all of them. Gets himself a 7. He knew his job. He signed up to hit a lot of 20s, and he hit a lot of 20s. I do like how their jerseys are for Dead Man Darts, and on the back it says, "Have a nice day."
Well, you gotta be polite. Thanks for coming. Have a nice day. Brett Holiday here. They have the lead going into this. I still think there's a big argument to stay up top first, but after that, they do need to continue the momentum.
He's staying up. He does 2 and 1. He's hitting the 1 every time, though.
That's perfect. That's exactly what he needed. He really wasn't going to consider moving until it was either his third dart or he's tripped it, and that's what we saw out of him. Galloway's not happy, though.
No, only a 1 mark out of Keith. Not going to be enough in this one.
Henze, if he closes the 15, you can't help but believe that this leg might be over, and we're about to see our finals.
Double bull from Rick Henze on the last dart. You know, earlier today, as I was walking into the venue, into the finals area, I saw Ken Rip sitting down, or Rick Henze sitting down. I'm talking to Rick. Ken walks up and goes, "Rick, it's your turn." Rick goes, "All right." Gets up, goes trip 16, trip 15, double bull, and just saunters right back to sit back down. I go, "Ah, well, you did your job. Good job. You can have a seat."
He knows his job and he does it well.
All right, Ken Rip to do his job. 1 bull to make the finals.
Starting now. Ken Rip does take it there.
There it is.
A 4-2-5, playing alongside Brett Holiday and Rick Henze. And I just want to give a congratulations to third place here for Fred, Keith, and Zach, as they did a great performance, and they should be proud.
They impressed.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially Zach Hunter. I don't want to, as well as Fred Wright and Keith Galloway, but Zach Hunter, of course, being the new kid on the block, I just want to pay my respects to him.
Yeah, shot phenomenal. Well done, but here's the deal. You got a triple dip if you are Rick, Ken, and Brett.
Without dropping a set.
team that is almost impossible to triple dip.
Yeah, without dropping a set. Now, of course, we talked about how it was impossible to triple dip Jules in the CSI, and we saw Leonard do just about enough of proving it.
Well, let me tell you this. Let me tell you how much yesterday meant to Jules. I was talking to him out there earlier. He said, "Man, in the finals, the board just kept shrinking and shrinking on me. My eye line, the triples got smaller and smaller and smaller."
Well, let's take a brief moment here to actually hear from Kyle Liddicky and his thoughts on the CSI and the rest of the Tournament of Champions. I am Nick Dichiria, joined by Sean Green and Will Stuart from USA Darts at the Tournament of Champions 2022. Hi there, everybody. I'm Nick the Sheriff from USA Darts, joined by one and only Kyle Liddicky, one of our favorites from the TOC, a past champion of the CSI in 2018, and a second in the finale as well. Kyle, first off, how are you?
Doing good. Thanks for asking. Playing a lot of darts and looking forward to a good weekend of darts, hopefully.
Well, we're excited to see you out here because you're one of the most experienced players as far as not only darts, but specifically TOC and PPD. I mean, you've been a part of the program for pretty much as long as it's been around almost.
Yeah, I'm not sure when it came into, but the first year was the only year I wasn't here, and after that I've been here every year since, aside from the COVID gap there, but yeah.
Well, we're excited to have this tournament back in person. I mean, having 2 years off from seeing everyone face to face, it's nice to finally be back. Let me ask you this. Now, the CSC, we've seen you on multiple times now. How does it feel playing a remote tournament against top averages versus something like tomorrow you're playing the CSI, which is an in-person tournament with high average players?
I like playing in person, probably more. I think as you get a little more involved, you're kind of connecting with that person, whether you're shooting, hopefully you're shooting good, but playing online though is great. I mean, you don't have to travel. You get the opportunity to play for the big bonus dollars against top caliber players from all across the country.
Well, you're a top caliber player yourself. I mean, time and time again, we've seen you post incredible averages, huge performances, and well, you're one of the few that I could say is a 5.0 average or more in this room. What do you do to kind of maintain those high averages? Do you practice a lot? What's your secret?
Not necessarily a regimen, but playing leagues consistently whenever I can, usually about 2 nights a week playing league, and then at home, even 15, 20 minutes on a board, a night does a lot to help to, kind of maintain that average and, stay at top level and, yeah, hitting the triples.
Well, that's the goal at the end of the day. With the CSI going on tomorrow, I mean, there's countless tough names. I've listed them off so many different times because they're every single name's tough, all 32. Yeah. What's going to be your key to coming out on top tomorrow?
Starting strong, I think, for opening the game strong, 7 and 9 marks, those are key, set control of the game, then kind of maintain a point lead. But there's some incredible players out there. I've done it before. I was able to come out on top in 2018, shot great all day then. So just got to come out and hopefully, try your best and have fun.
Well, 2018 is notable not only because he won the CSI, but because I went 3-0 in every event. And now, with a lot of players that are, a lot of people that will be watching this for the first time, a lot of people might be introduced to darts because of the stream and watching high average players go at it. What advice would you give to somebody that's watching this and says, I want to play darts after this?
Yeah, to a new player, I would say, even joining leagues, obviously great. Find someone that maybe plays darts to kind of explain why you do things a certain way. I think that's certainly helpful as well. But yeah, have fun with it. Try to play. You don't have to play every single day of the week to be great. But just, join leagues, have fun, and try to just, get better every day.
Well, that's a great piece of advice there. And one final question I have for you, Kyle. There's a lot of rumors surfacing around that you are Carly Grigg's favorite player. Is that true? Confirm or deny?
I would have to confirm.
All right. Well, I'm Nick Dichiria, joined by Kyle Liddicky, live from the TOC 2022 Tournament of Champions. Thank you for your time, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh my goodness. Sorry.
What a diddle we're tuning into. I'm Nick Dichiria, joined by Sean Green and Will
Is it
Stuart.
not in the center hole? Nope.
They're all in the center.
No, I mean like the actual. Like, can I throw it underneath the dart? You have to go on a knee, right?
Yeah. Oh, wow. These guys are having some fun here. You are watching the finals of the No Cap Triples event at the Tournament Champions 2022. First place, $1,188 plus their share of the $50K pool. Second place, $792 and a big check to their name.
Well, this will be a race to 2, all cricket, here in the first match. If Ken, Rick, and Brett win the first match, then it will be another match of cricket 01 cricket. And if Rick, Brett, and Ken win that one, it'll go to a last chance, last leg decider, 1 leg of cricket.
And not to put it bluntly, but that's a lot of ifs.
Yeah.
Everyone on this board looking for their first place of this tournament, if I'm not mistaken here.
That is correct.
And that's important because right now, looking at this final, you have multiple players, Kyle Liddicky, Leonard Gates, and also Rick Hensey, all in the $50K pool. So that means that they're going to get a share of that $50,000 that everyone, not just the No Cap, but every bracket is competing for.
There go the 19s. Back at the 20s, hits them. Ken Rip has been phenomenal this entire weekend. Ever since Saturday started, he's been doing great. I've just seen a very solid shot out of him. Right now, I'm just shocked that he doesn't move along further in the CSE Challenger Series. He might not like remote play.
It's also, I mean, it's a different format. And when you're talking long format cricket, it's something that a lot of players aren't used to playing. And it really tests everyone to their limits. And players that I would consider amazing or even pro-level players might not perform as well because they're not used to that style of format. And vice versa. I mean, to stay focused in a remote setting without being in that tournament room, without having a partner, it's hard to not lose concentration almost.
Well, here is Kyle Liddicky.
Lids.
Only
As he
gets
goes
a
by.
2 mark.
And the juggernaut Hensey stepping up.
The big easy. Making it look big and easy. Hits it. Yeah, shake your head at that 5 mark, Rick. They're only up 120 points, too, on top of it. Yep, Soldier going bullseye first.
I think he's trying to loosen up a little bit.
Yep.
And also on top of that, they do have a benefit of a lot of games in front of them. And at this level, you would consider this game almost a wash if Ken Rip gets the next close here.
Yeah, this is it. This is the finals. Here of the No Cap division for men's triples.
Alar here has a good opportunity as Ken Rip was not happy with his most recent visit.
See what Maya does or decides to do.
It's going to stay there.
Would really like another triple. Gets it. Gets the point lead. That's about all it does right now.
But that 17 is just a little breeze from falling over and being closed out. So it makes it a little dicey. A lot of points required from Brett here to make sure that he can stave off Kyle Liddicky on his next visit. And that's not what happened.
No, it's not. A triple here for Kyle might give him a chance to peak now.
Let's see. Let's see what he's capable of.
If you're Hollanday, Hensey, and Rip, you cannot lose this leg.
Especially a leg that they are a far gone favorite in.
Well, 7 mark from Kyle.
A little pressure on Hensey's back now.
Well, he tends to perform better under pressure. There it is.
Gates with a lax only 4 mark visit there. Can rip, needs those 16s gone. Millar to make a stand on the 15s.
All right. 10 seconds remaining on the timer here for Jeremiah. Took his time going over the options.
He was waiting for your sultry voice.
Well, I'm back, so now you can throw. And he only gets 4 of them. He seems very excited about that round.
I wouldn't say excited is the right term.
Oh, negative excitement. He even kicked the camera as he went by. Oh. Brett, though, not able to shut the door. What's up, Brent? Brent Cervelli in the chat. Top of the afternoon, all. He did 3 different... Oh, Kyle went for it. Gets 6 of them. I like the move there. Do you like the move there?
Yeah, you have to take a risk at some point. I am a firm believer to take the easy one first just because the guarantee close just is a dart spent is my mentality. But, of course, 20 versus 15 points can only go for so long. So there's an argument either direction. I like the fact that he went for a close. I just would have went for the guaranteed close myself.
Rick doesn't even get the point lead, so the door is wide open here for Soldier. If I'm him, do you even waste a dart on the 15 here? Yeah.
It's not even wasted. The extra
you know
points add, and now the 17s need to go.
Oh,
no.
Big ones misses the easy.
That's why the easy one matters, because that 20 got dripped anyways, and the single 17 from earlier from Kyle would have been perfect. I might come back to haunt them.
And Ken doing a little something to keep control.
That's what he has to do. Well, even if he's just shy of the point lead, there's a good argument for him to take those 17s
right now.
Yep. And he's going to go back over because they have that bull in the back pocket, which, again, we commented on earlier, being like, that's a little strange, but that bull in the back pocket makes things a lot dicier.
Yeah, it's technically 3-3 right now still. But Brett still needs to close 15s in order to get a shot at that 3. Not going to do it. Well, he does now, but 3-3. Kyle needs 2 more.
One more here, important dart.
And Liddicky gets it done. They steal the first leg. And now are 1 leg away from the title.
Which means that the Minnesotans need to win 2 legs in a row here to reset the bracket for the first time. And then they'll need to win another best of 3 to reset it for a second time, and then win the last chance to end it all on the 3rd bracket.
All right. Rick going to get us started. Gets a 7 mark open.
And that's about as perfect other than a 9 mark there. I guess that makes sense when I say it out loud.
That is very true.
It sounded a lot more intelligible in my head.
It was super intelligent for like the first graders of darts.
You know.
Sorry. I couldn't let that one slide.
A little wild on that first start from Ken Rip, almost hitting into the 12, and then the last start, miss. It's a little peculiar, wouldn't you say?
He was going for the double 19. Still peculiar to go for the double, especially when you miss it like that. But
I do believe there's a room for doubles in cricket. I know I joke both ways on it, but there's room for doubles. But double 1917 are not doubles that you would even shoot at almost ever in steel tip or in 501. So why shoot it now in cricket? That's the part where I have an issue. Jeremy says, wait, people don't start with 8 marks, Nick Dichiria? I do when I get too excited on my first start and hit a double to start off.
Todd asking what were the top averages for D1 finals. We are not sure. We don't get that information like we do for other things, correct?
Yeah, unfortunately, like these stats are getting done live right now. They're in the hall playing, so we can't just access them as easy as we normally could. That's not really a system that we are a part of. But if we do get any stat reports, I promise we will bring it right to you as Hensley's bringing the darts right to that triple 20.
Yeah, boom goes the dynamite there for Rick Hensley. 3 in the bed on the 20s. They need to win this leg, or else this tournament is over for them. And we have champions. But you see the frustration starting to settle in a little bit.
There's a lot of intensity riding on this. I mean, all these guys want to get that first place, get their share, and the talent level here is saying, hey, listen, we expect to win at least one event. Maybe not all of them, but at least one. So therefore, they're also going to play with a little bit of pride on the line.
All right, so I would never say this to his face. So now I have to stop.
Just pretend he's not here. Go ahead and tell me.
That's too nice of a compliment.
Millar going up.
See if he stays right there. He should. He does. Ideally, stay right there. Yells at the dart for not staying there, though.
Mike Maloney saying, what's up, as soon as we finish talking about doubles and cricket. Funny enough.
Tyler asking, can you guys explain the tournament times and when you will be live? Is it over after today?
Well, the big day is tomorrow. We will be going live, if I'm not mistaken, at 10:30 a.m. Central Time to cover the finale with thousands and thousands of dollars in prize money. We will also be live this evening at 6 p.m. Central.
Sorry to stop. It will be 6 to 9 tonight, but what time does that finale start tomorrow, technically?
I can check right now. Let me look at my flyer here.
Because I don't know, we'll see how things go. But
Sydney Bond saying I'm joining PPD.
Like it's starting at 10 a.m. So right
okay,
at the
so
same time that we're starting.
we're perfect then. Okay, no real need to change times. Then we'll go live right at 10:30 like normal and go with it.
Austin Braswell already saying 10 a.m. right there.
Look at that, Austin in the chat letting us know. I'm sure he's excited for that one. Is he in the elite finale? Austin?
I believe he is. If not, he should be.
He is one of the 128 that can win $10,000 a piece.
That's $20,000 total.
Draw. It's a blind draw.
That it is, and it's really cool to because you're gonna more than likely play with someone you've never played with before, or might not even know. And then of course there's that one team where it's the 2 local players that played every other event together that happen to draw each other. That draw actually takes place. I believe they're going to be announcing the partners at 5 p.m. tonight. So hopefully I will get a chance to run out there and talk with some of those players about their draw picks, especially the ones that know each other as well.
Zach Hunter in the chat saying I'll be back next time to win. Well, we kind of...
Zach, if you want to come back now and talk to our boy Nick on camera, that might be nice. As Brett takes out leg number 2.
Yeah.
1-1 score line.
Zach, we definitely want to have a chat with you because you were playing impressive stuff, brother. You should be proud. And if you ever need dart lessons, you can give them to me because I could not teach you anything you don't already know.
Raz, Millar is playing better today. He goes, here I come. So he will be coming back. Excited to meet Zach in just a couple seconds.
Speak for yourself. Just kidding.
Just a couple seconds. I'm telling you. Austin saying 4th place, no cap wasn't bad today. I agree with that. You guys in that field had some tough teams to get through, including these two. Could not get through these two.
Hensley started off with a 7 mark last time. Let's see if he can do that again. Looking likely.
And looking confirmed. 7 mark for Rick Enzi. Last leg decider. We've had 1 hold a throw, 1 break a throw. And how about a 9 mark start for Soldier?
Wow. Firing off on all cylinders. They don't want to go to another best of 3 because here's the problem, like I said, and it's not even a problem, but it's just a factor at this level, is that they're going to go all 3 games if they go to a second best of 3, which means that there's a high chance that if they get this first dip, the hard one out of the way, that the rest might be a little dicier, so they need to win. Millar, Gates, Lidicky, they know this. They've played in these tournaments. They've played in these events.
Well, Millar hasn't.
Well, that is true. But they played at this level, I should say, and they understand how intense the dips can be, the pressure can be, and everything else.
Justin Fawcett, Canadian CDC player, saying, good stuff, boys. Entertaining, and the commentary is on point. Good bit of fun. Justin, you're a good bit of fun. Nice to see you, bud, in our chat. Thanks for tuning in with us. Sean Green, Nick, Dichiria, Will Stewart.
Tyler saying, Wisconsin watching here. I think I've seen a few players from Wisco on here, right? Plenty of Wisconsin players and Wisconsinites representing between Sugar Shane and the others. It is some very tough shots out there.
Look at that 6 mark from Kyle Lidicky. Keeping it within reason, but Rick's going to try and make sure it's not within reason after he's done.
And Rick does need to be dominant here and make sure he's leading his team in the right direction, as they are all great shots, but Rick is taking the charge in the front of the volley.
Oh, here is Soldier. Gets himself a 5. Not going to be enough to get a point lead or put a lot of damage in there. Ken can really attack the 17s if he wants to first. Does he want to? He does. Goodbye. Up to the 20s? Yeah. Playing safe, solid darts against the threesome that is Jeremiah Millar, Leonard Gates, and Kyle Lidicky.
Millar's going to have to bed whatever number he's on to feel comfortable with his turn.
And he does bed whatever he shoots at to feel comfortable during his turn. 3 in the bed on the 16s.
I just need to apologize to Will Stewart there. Tapped my shoe on the ground. He thought someone was knocking at the door. So I apologize to him on that one.
It's actually really funny. We should do that more often.
I didn't know that would happen. That was not intentional. What? Lidicky now. Opportunity to keep the momentum going for his team. He needs to. Triple here, important.
Will's still here, so I can't say anything nice about him yet.
He's actually acting as a bouncer and a producer.
He's doing the best of 3 worlds.
The best of 3 worlds, indeed.
Well, Rick gets the point lead back and closes the 16s. Leonard Gates, 15s.
Well, Soldier's finding ammunition, though.
He's got to fill it up. Not going to fill it up. So down 17 points.
Brings it within a 1 bowl situation, though, on the close. So Kinrip not only needs to close, but also expand that point lead, or else it could still go the other way. They need this.
And he's staying there. And only hits a 1 mark. Got himself a Grand Slam breakfast, though.
After he has been doing so well, that is not a good time for him to make a mistake as such. Millar, first dart triple gets him ahead. He's going to have to stay until he trips it.
But what about now?
Not happy.
Still took a look at the 20.
Well, it was with
He's not happy because he missed it.
He would rather take the 4-3.
Yeah.
Because if I'm Brett, if I get the close and get the points here, I'm going to dig deep on those points. I'm not even going to think about the bull in this turn at all.
But that's not how Brett plays. Brett plays points first.
Until he goes for the close.
Yeah, but he always will point first. That's why Jeremiah shot at that trip 20 on the last dart.
Yes, exactly.
He knows that no matter what, it doesn't matter if it's dart 3, dart 2, dart 1, Brett's going to throw the first dart at point.
I like how we're agreeing, but we sound like we're disagreeing. Right
No, no, no. See, you're wrong because Brett's going to shoot the first dart at point. Just kidding. And goodbye, Nick. It took a long time. Oh, man. There's the close from Kyle Liddicky. But Rick's hit 3 bowls before.
You could say he's hit it once or twice. I would imagine it's a fair assumption here.
Doesn't here, though.
Wow, 4 bowls needed. Gates is walking up. He didn't even think he was going to have a go at it this time around.
Well, there's 2 of them.
He
got the hard one out of the way.
I can't believe this.
Wow.
One more of those.
For the match and the title. Gets it done.
Wow, what a way to end it. A little drama, a little intrigue, and some excellent darts thrown by the team of Gates, Liddicky, and Millar. Congratulations to those gentlemen right there.
Wow, wow, wow. I promise Rick has hit 3 darts in the bullseye before.
He certainly has. Someone saying the commentator's curse is real.
Yeah.
But an excellent match and a great finals from these guys. So now let's take a moment to hear from one of the players that just won, Jeremiah Millar. We're going to have a quick little chat with him, and we'll be back soon enough. I'm Nick Dichiria, joined by Sean Green and Will Stuart, and you are watching the Tournament of Champions 2022.
Don't go anywhere, guys.
Darts.
Hello everyone, I'm Sean Green and I am here with USA Darts to interview Jeremiah Millar. Jeremiah, how you doing, bud?
Oh, it couldn't be better. I appreciate it. Excited to be here for the first time.
Well, I knew you from a while ago. When I first started playing darts, you lived in Indy, and I watched you from a distance because you were so good. Didn't really have the confidence even to talk to you very much, so here we are at this point 12 years later, and didn't think this was going to happen.
Not sure how to respond to that, but yeah, Indy is an amazing area. It was my first stint in kind of the soft tip. Some people would call it the Mecca. I'm sure most people argue that, but yeah, it was phenomenal. It was a lot of great talent and a lot of darts to be had in Indy. So kind of missed that area.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me, how did you get started in darts? I know that you play steel, you play soft, you do it all. How did you get started?
Funny story. When I was in Canada, I used to play pool before darts, and I used to play pretty competitive. So everything I did when I grew up was I just have this competitive spirit amongst me. So one day I was at the bar waiting for a pool table to open, and the owner was a dart player and invited me onto a dart board on the side waiting for pool, and seemed to have a knack for it, and here I am.
Yeah, you think you had a knack for it? Did you start off throwing? What was your average to start off your first league?
When I started playing, I was playing steel. I played in like the lowest level in London, so the London Men's City Dart League, where Jim Long plays out of. It was actually enormous. So I played in like the lowest level. It's a bunch of buddies getting together, excuse to drink some beer and throw some darts. And within I think 2 years, I was in the Premier League in London. So I just enjoyed it, had a knack for it, and couldn't get enough.
So this is your first time at TOC. What kind of preparation do you do to get into a big event like this where thousands and thousands of dollars are on the line for you?
Normally, I prepare, months in advance. In a very difficult time in my life right now, we've got this transition period, which we've talked about, and I think with one of my previous interviews. So currently in the middle of finishing a home and moving, so my preparation has not been good, to be honest with you. But I don't think I'm concerned because I think I'm going to be able to pull from my experience. I think my match against Kenny Doyle I think I performed pretty well. Made some mistakes, but I was comfortable with my performance with no preparation. And then I didn't touch a dart again until I played Gates, and I think I played pretty well. Let some opportunities go, and you can't miss those opportunities against him, and that's why I'm in the loser bracket. So my preparation hasn't been what I want it to be, not by choice, but still feeling good.
Okay. So Kenny did make a statement, his last interview, that he really did want to get back at you. Yeah. And you actually messaged me privately about that. Like, does he usually do that type of thing? He doesn't. Yeah. So how does that make you feel?
The fact that Kenny did it, I think, is more intriguing to me than if it was someone who normally calls people out. I think Kenny didn't perform well. I think we've seen him play extremely well, and he came out flat-footed, and I just don't think I gave him an opportunity to get back into the match, and I think that left a sour taste in his mouth. So I think he's wanting some redemption, rightfully so, as any competitor would. I just happen to be the one that he wants redemption with. So.
All right, so did you actually reach out to anyone ahead of time, with this being your first TOC, for the TOC expectations, what to expect going into this tournament?
I didn't actually. I've heard from many people that this is one of the probably better run dart tournaments. Looking at the schedule, it's very clear to me that it allows for high-level darts, but it doesn't carry out through the wee hours of the morning. So I think that's extremely intriguing. Obviously, I followed it in the past because I'm a dart fan. Mm-hmm. So if I'm not playing, I'm on my couch watching and I won't say quarterbacking, armchair quarterbacking maybe. But yeah, I think I know what to expect. I just got to see the venue for the first time, and it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it is really cool. This is my first time here as well, so it's been really phenomenal. This area they gave us is really cool. I'm looking forward to this. It's gonna be I hate to say cool again, but it's gonna be really cool. All right, so I have to throw this question back at you because you asked it to all your followers on Facebook. What makes you turn off a live stream?
Oh, interesting. Wasn't ready for this one. I think dead air is number one. So I'm a promoter. I enjoy all levels of the game. Do I like seeing the top echelon players play? Yeah, I think it's exciting, but that's just my preference. I know others have different preferences. And then no commentary. If it's just a video feed, then to me it just doesn't interest, because there's stories to be told about a game. And I think if you get a good commentary team, such as what you guys have been doing, and
keep going.
You can pay me later for that one. But no, if you get a good commentary, I think you can kind of unfold what's occurring, and you get a little bit of a snippet probably into the minds of the players. So to me, that's a great commentary, when you can assess what's happening as it happens, and then see how the story plays out.
You do actually, you comment a lot on our streams when you're not playing, and you do give a lot of like that Monday morning quarterbacking. When you play an opponent, do you watch them throw, and are you looking for mistakes that they're making?
I guess I pride myself on being a student of the game, and I don't want to sound arrogant, but I think I understand we talked about thermonuclear cricket. There's a couple different strategies that are the predominant ones. And I pride myself into understanding which strategy they're playing, so it doesn't surprise me. And I think where people get in trouble is when someone does something that's unexpected, because you lose your focus for that brief second. It could be a dart, could be a turn, and at this level, that's all it takes, and the match is turned. So, yeah, am I a student of the game? Absolutely, but I don't necessarily watch what their opponent's strategy is, other than live and in the moment.
So I have a question from Brian Henry himself. If you could pick one partner to play with in Michigan, who would you pick? Abe Smith or Tony Stevenson?
Since I've become an American citizen, I've learned to plead the fifth. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to invoke my right and plead the fifth, but thank you for asking.
Of course. Hey, you thought you'd never know. You might throw out a name and make the other person upset.
I have to thank Brian for that one.
Yes. We came up with it together, but it was mostly him. I want you to know that. So what are your expectations for yourself this weekend? Obviously, you go to a tournament expecting to win, but realistically, are you expecting to win everything?
I would say, am I expecting to win everything? Absolutely not. I mean, that would just be obscene for me to think that I can come into a room with such talent and think that I'm going to win everything. What is my goal? To win at least one of the big ones? Absolutely. But I'm here more so for, I'm going to be honest with you, kind of the camaraderie. I get to shoot with some people that I've not shot with before. I met Jules. He picked me up from the airport. And,
He's okay.
He's a pretty good guy. So get a chance to maybe hang out with him, grab some food and some drinks. So I think for me, I would like this to be a well-rounded experience and not just about darts. And it's kind of what I heard about Kansas City. Because you're not playing to the wee hours of the morning, it opens up opportunities to enjoy life outside of darts.
Yeah, I agree with that. Our stream ends at 9 p.m. every night, which we're like, really?
That's my bedtime, by the way.
I've been told. I've been told many a times. All right, so speaking of great partners, you have a great one this weekend that you're playing with for the most of the stuff. You tend to have great partners when you play. What makes a good dart partner in doubles events and in triples events?
Oh, very good question. A great dart partner is not just about talent. I think chemistry is a big thing. So I've never played with Leonard before. Funny enough, in all these years, we've battled it out, always on the opposite side of the hockey. So I'll be curious to see if we gel. Sometimes, you get a player that is an intense player and a player that's a relaxed player, and they just don't gel well. Mm-hmm. So I'll be curious to see. And then, as far as the other partners, Kyle Ledecky, I played with him once in a trips event, him and Boris, I think in the Monsters of the Midway, and we did well. Kyle's an easy guy to play with, so I don't know. I think I'm looking forward. I think we'll do well.
Awesome. So I'm going to ask you the same question that Nick asked Jules because it was a great question. His one good question of the entire interview. Sorry, I love you. To someone just starting out playing darts, what advice would you give someone that might be tuning in for the first time watching darts or for the first time playing darts here in the last 6 months or so?
I get asked that question a lot. I would say I think it depends on what your goals are. So if you're in it just for a social environment, I heard what Jules had to say, enjoy the game, enjoy the people, and surround yourself around people that have that similar goal. If your goal is to grow in the game and you want to be one of the elite players, I think fundamentals is incredibly important. So I would say work on the fundamentals, the setup, and then it will take some time. So don't get frustrated, get the fundamentals down, and then just kind of allow yourself to progress in the game. Not everyone's going to be a Jules that just comes out of nowhere and then is on the PDC tour. He's an anomaly. So just keep your expectations correct, grow the game, and if you get frustrated, then I would say you just kind of have to take a step back and figure out how to have fun again.
My last question for you is actually not darts related. What other hobbies do you do besides darts? I think people would be interested in that.
Nowadays, I really don't have time for any, but what do I love? I grew up a hockey player in Canada, played competitive soccer. Apparently I don't have the Jules physique that Nick was talking about, so I can't play those sports anymore, so I'm more into the pub sports. But yeah, and I enjoy golf. You know what? The golf is something that hadn't got to play in a couple of years, but enjoy it when I'm playing well.
I'm a big golfer. That's my thing that I do. I'm much better at golf than I am at darts, which isn't saying much, but it is saying something, I guess. Well, guys, I'm Sean Green, joined by Jeremiah Millar. Jeremiah, good luck this weekend. We're rooting for you. We wish you all the best.
Appreciate it. Thanks for interviewing, and thanks for having me here this weekend.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am Sean Green, joined in the booth by Nick Dichiria and Will Stuart. This is the fourth place match in Division 1. See, everyone was complaining this whole time. Oh, you guys don't have any lower levels. Well, how about Division 1? The second highest level that we can give you. That's what we're going to bring to you. Here's Jake Smith.
let's just take a moment to mention two things here. First off, talking about Division 1. Division 1's going to have shots like Chris Watson, Jake Smith, Mike Scarborough, and everyone else doing great things. And the difference is that they're playing with different partners that help them fit into that cap. Because there's no difference in prize money between the no cap and Division 20. So you're going to see that. That's why Jules is in the king seat right now in this very brackets.
Well, Jules is not. Yes, he is.
Thank you, Sean, for the wise words.
And I'm done talking. Here's Joe. Joe Blankhartz.
Tim Goodwin, the better of the twins.
Yeah, here's Tim. I got to talk to Tim a little bit before they got the match started. Came over and introduced himself. He is actually an avid supporter in our chat. Always joining along. Hits himself a 5 mark, too. Well done, Tim.
Now, this is just a single leg that we're going to be watching, as it is still the same format. Last chance here. Now, this is a full bracket, so there is full payouts as well. Fourth place team taking $278 home. Which is more than their entry fees, so they're going to be getting some of that money back, covering the beer fund, I would hope.
Well, that was Hunter Smith who just shot there. Hunter is the only person that I have seen in this venue that's not an indie person that I've actually played before.
Really?
Yeah. Played against Hunter in Team Dart, NDA.
Nice. How'd you do?
My first time there. We actually, it was 4 top lady shots on the same team. Played against my team, and we were victorious, but that's just because they were bad electricians on the day. They were wiring the wrong side of the triple every other throw.
Well, I mean, with how much power bills are, it's very intense to do so.
Here's Dario Meza.
They're not all winners, boys. They're not all winners.
Well, I just like how you throw 100 darts to the wall to see if one of them sticks.
And that's exactly how I play in competition, too.
He did admit to me last night. He goes, every once in a while, I just take the old glance at you guys, make sure I'm hitting or not. That one you swung and missed, sir.
Mike Maloney saying, Sean, I just made a post on your wall, and I'm cracking up here at work. Even your voice is relatively close, and I am terrified to know what you posted on Sean's Facebook.
Oh, no.
We're going to have to show what's going on there in a minute.
Mike, why you gotta get involved?
Tim just needs 2 bowls to send the Smiths packing. Does get it. It didn't count it. It didn't count it.
Oh, no. Why are you showing you that?
Looks they pulled the dart, yeah. So it looks like during that it misregistered. It was in the bowl, and they pulled the dart prior to actually backing it up, and now they're having a discrepancy of what to do because it was actually game for Tim. The last dart was in the bowl, registered as a single one.
Well, they're seeing what they're gonna do here.
The right call, they're going to ask what to do.
The correct decision is that they would actually normally play through if it was pulled before switching, although it looks like the other team agreed, all right, it's fine, shaking hands and just moving on, which is a very respectful and sportsmanlike thing to do.
Oh, absolutely. And you don't expect anything else out of the Smiths. That's how they're going to do their thing. They earned the win. It wasn't anything like that. Just Tim didn't realize they didn't connect it, which brings us back to our original point. Do you wear headphones or not when you play?
No. And that was my insightful insight on that question there. So now they are moving on. So that is going to be Chris Watson, Dario Meza, and Tim Goodwin moving to a third place match against Mike Scarborough, someone I actually talked to for the CSC. David Rice and Larry Colburn in the third place match of Division 1.
Well, bear with us, guys. Let me see what we can go ahead and get.
That's the actual post.
Should I just pull it up real quick?
I guess so.
Yeah, might as
No
well.
one's
We can
making
go
you
ahead
guys
and
do
see
this.
this post from. Oh my goodness.
Why'd you pick the worst picture of Frank Caliendo that you possibly could? That's him as John Gruden. I can tell based on the facial expression. It's just very close to what I'm doing in mine.
Terrible.
I
terrible.
cannot
Good
do
job.
impressions, so there's only one Sean Green. I can't be John Madden. It doesn't really sound like John Madden like it would normally. So
That was good. That was good. Well, folks, let's see what we got coming our way. I'm guessing the conclusion of Division 1. Bear with us. We'll go get those matches. As you can tell, it's pretty barren here just because we're bringing in just matches for you guys to see right now as our no-cap bracket has concluded already. We'll be right back, folks.
Stay tuned, everybody. Nick Dichiria, Sean Green, and Will Stewart.
darts.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nick Dichiria with USA Darts, joined by Meredith Hale from Orlando, Florida, representing C&M Darts in the women's CSI. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Now, you had a interesting time getting here. You've been here a couple days early because of a certain storm or something I might have heard about named Ian.
Yes.
How's your travels been so far?
Been great. Came in Tuesday night, and I've just kind of enjoyed the peace and quiet. For the time, it's been all Florida people and the PBD staff basically here for the whole week.
Well, it's the calm before the storm here because tomorrow we are starting our play with the women's CSI bright and early in the morning here. And it's a tough field out there. I mean, what does it feel when you're looking at brackets like that knowing that every opponent's going to be a brick wall?
It is. It's very hard. In a short format, 2 out of 3, you've got to put it on right then and right there. And fortunately, there is a loser's bracket, so you do get a second chance. But it's very hard, and you got to hope for a good draw, and hope that you're on point at 8:30 in the morning.
Well, you know how to be on point. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. And in 2019, you and I actually played together in one of these events. And after 2 early losses, we climbed all the way back from the bottom bracket to 3rd place in a triple elimination format.
I felt like a winner.
Now, what's your secret to staying focused after knowing that early losses in a long format and a long tournament? Like, how did you stay focused during all that?
It's just one game at a time. You have to focus on one game at a time. And sometimes, someone has a hot game on you, and your game isn't so good that time. And you just have to go, okay, good for them. They shot great. Let's move on to the next one and see what happens. And hopefully it's not the deciding leg. Hopefully you'll get another chance. But, you've got a loser's bracket. You come back and hopefully see them again. Or if they drop down, maybe you've got, yourself together and everything's working right. And you can keep going. It's one game at a time. Don't overthink it. Just keep going.
Well, overthinking is my specialty. That's what I'm here for. With your darts that you throw darts that have been around a few tournaments or two.
Yeah.
You said you've had them since 1992, and they're 12 grams.
One's 12 grams, 12.5, 12.6, and 12.7. I weighed them.
And now, why do you stay with the same set after so many years?
They just feel comfortable. I've bought other sets. And, I do well with them at first because you have to concentrate a little bit more when you've got a new dart. You want to figure out, how does this work? And you're like, oh, this is the dart for me. And then all of a sudden one night, it's not the dart for you. And I just keep going back to these. They feel comfortable in my hand. They feel like an old friend. And they've treated me very well over the years. And I'm afraid they're just going to wear away to nothing by the time I'm done with them. I mean, I got them used in 1992, so I have no idea how old they are. Are they older than you?
98 is when I came around, so by about 6 years.
Yeah, my darts are older than you.
So, speaking of old friends, right? You talked about your darts as old friends. Chrissy Grimble, alongside with a bunch of other of these ladies, are your friends.
Yeah.
As much as they are competition as well.
Yes.
What's it like when you're playing a friend at the Yaki?
Friend back here, not friend on the line. They walk back, they hit something good. I'm glad that they did for them because it makes everyone feel good, when you shoot something good. I want to beat them as bad as I can, and they want to beat me as bad as they can. So, but at the end of the day, it's whoever's best at that moment. When you're at a certain level, it's just who's hot right then, or who made the right move, or made that one big shot. It could change the whole game. And I'm happy for them when they do well. I hope they're happy for me when I do well. You might be disappointed in yourself for losing, but if it's a great game, win or lose, it's fun, and that's why we're here. To have fun and be in a competitive environment. And if it's not competitive, it's not as fun. Simple as that.
Well, and you make any environment competitive. I mean, you go and you drive deep in tournaments. You have these great runs. Let me ask you this. In a male-dominated sport as darts, there's a lot of male presence, and you are a female presence that's been around for a long time and has played at a high level. What advice would you get to a new female shooter that's just not joining the game?
Find the best player that you can. Get advice. Get tips. Get strategy advice. And then play only people that are better than you. Don't play a practice game, even a practice just for fun. Always try to play someone better, because every time you play, it will raise your game just a notch. That's all you need, a little notch at a time, and just keep going. And just take advice. Watch the streams. Watch the professionals. See what they do. Try the things that they do. If it works, keep it. If it doesn't work, toss it out the window. Another thing will come along that you can try to copy. Watch these strokes of the people that have beautiful strokes. Because if you've got a funky stroke, you can't be consistent. And you have to watch the pros. The pros are pros for a reason, because they do everything right. And you need to try to copy them. And, some pros, their stroke is a little funny. Some's not. You just keep trying and until you find something that works for you.
Well, we're excited to see how it works out for you, because there's over $2 million up for grabs this event across the next couple days, and we are excited to see what share of it you get.
I want a little bit of it. I definitely want some. But it's however much I get or don't get, it doesn't matter. It's a wonderful tournament. It's the best run tournament I've ever been to in my 32 years of playing. It is so smooth. The staff is wonderful. The whole PBD program is wonderful with the leagues, the events, the monthly triples, the nationals events. Everything is just is top notch. This setup, this room, there's nothing more beautiful, and it runs so smoothly. The staff, everyone does such a great job. I wouldn't be anywhere else. That's why the Florida people, the rest of us, I flew out early. A lot of people drove 18 hours just to make sure that they get here for this tournament. That's how much it means to everyone. It's an important event, and we all just want to have fun, and that's the most important part, is that we're here with our old friends, making new friends, and it's going to be a great weekend.
Well, Meredith, as a friend of yours, I'm excited to see you here. I'm excited to have some fun, and we wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm Nick Dichiria with USA Darts. This is Meredith McGee-Hale, and we are bringing you a TOC 2022.
Welcome back to Kansas City, Missouri, live here for TOC 2022, brought to you by Partners Promoting Darts. I'm Sean Green, your play-by-play commentator, joined by young Dirachi, Nick Dichiria, and the GOAT, Will Stuart, USA Darts Productions. Guys, has this been everything that we've expected to be and more, and that is even before the finale tomorrow?
It certainly has been. Constant moments of drama, action, darts flying through the air, spirits broken, and tournaments won. There's been so much to see and so much more stories to unfold here in our streaming room at the Tournament Champions, Kansas City, Missouri. There's been over $2 million of prizes for this event, or this tournament, excuse me, and a lot of money for first place here.
Will? I don't know. I'm using this just as like the show.
I don't know why you are either, sir.
Mike Scarborough stepping up here. Let's get this match started.
Mike Scarborough,
CSC Challenger player.
He is.
Division 2. Got a chance to interview with him not too long ago.
Well, here's a former champ of Division 2 of the CSC Challenger Series, the bar darter himself, Chris Watson.
Yeah, 2 scoop.
Yeah, apparently he got as soon as he met Daryl Cortez this weekend.
Daryl punched him right in the... No.
Yeah. No, it was Ram Gravera was giving him a lot for saying that, for the 2 scoops sign that was made. It was great.
You can see the first place team of Jules and his compatriots sitting in the background there waiting to see who he's going to face. David Reese here, another one of those players that has been in the TOC program for quite a long time, one of the first people I met when I started traveling out here.
Oh, he snuck that last one underneath. Found himself 4 marks. Here's Dario. Dario going with a classic look, the button-up shirt. Gets a double 20 to close the 20s out, too.
It's nice, and I'm curious your opinion on this. So now
Can't wear sleeves.
Well, I mean, okay, that's fair. You can wear sleeves or not wear sleeves. That's fine.
Can't ask me questions.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I really
What do you got? What do you got?
Struggling to. Going incognito in a tournament where a lot of people might know who you are or might know that you're at least serious about it. Now, of course, I mean, every person in here is wearing a dart jersey, but do you think going incognito in other events, especially blind draws, is something that you have ever done or seen people do?
Oh, buddy, if you know me, what you do, you know I want attention, 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 left, right, and center. So I don't just wear dart jerseys. I wear all my patches. I let everyone know that I'm not sponsored by companies, but I work for them. You know, I try to be it's the same thing in golf. I have to look the part. I have to look like a professional in order to play like a professional. I never do, but at least in my mind, I feel like I am going in there with a little bit of an intimidation factor.
And that's a great way to see it. I just know, like, some of these bigger names especially will go incognito occasionally. I was playing in the Darts Live Open tournament in Vegas back in around 2019-ish. And when I was out there, I was playing some guy that was really good at darts, and he was wearing sweatpants and a shirt. And I was like, who is this guy, and why is he beating me? It was Alex Reyes, incognito, under a different name in the tournament as well, just so he could be truly incognito because it was a side event.
Well, there you go. I don't think I've ever considered doing that. What about you, Will? You ever consider doing that incognito?
He does have a lot of fans.
I've done it one time, actually.
Have you? Is that true?
I have. I put on a fake mullet, and I I went to Party City and got like a really good fake looking mustache, and it was a handlebar. So I just went to a local blind draw and like didn't act like myself. Added a thick country accent to it, and I tell you what, it deceived a couple people.
It kind of done did it, didn't it? Did it. Here's another question I have for you guys. Mike Maloney in chat saying that he started playing PPD leagues again about 6 weeks ago. Do you think we see him by the January cutoff qualifying for the CSC coming back in February?
Well, he's got to be good enough first.
And that's Sean Green getting canceled by Mike Maloney, everybody.
No, I figured since we're on posting on our wall type of friendship now, I guess we can. I'm allowed to
joke around a little bit.
Too. No, absolutely. I see Mike Maloney in the next one. I would think that the CSC is one of his motivating factors for getting back into it. I know that he has missed not being in the last two. He, of course, went out in about the worst style you can, down up 6-1, and lose the match 9-8 in the last leg decider to Willie Walker.
Which does make it almost like an instant classic rewatch, though. That's one of the matches I see myself going back and kind of re-experiencing and seeing how it unfolded, and knowing the result changes the context a lot. And I really think he wants a redemption, as he is a winner of some of the original CSCs. I believe one of them prior to us ever broadcasting it.
Steve in the chat saying, I went to a dart players golf tournament this past weekend. Steve, I'm going to need to know where that thing's located. All right, because I need to get myself into that bad boy.
All right, now they're going to be playing some 0-1 here.
Yeah, leg number 1 went to the one-loss team.
That is how it works.
And
sorry, I didn't process what you said properly.
Here's also how it works. You have said it yourself. It's really hard to not go to a last leg decider in this format. So my question to you is this: is the format flawed in that way, or is it set up that way on purpose?
Here's the thing: it's not flawed. Because if you look at a majority of players, they're not in the no cap. They're not in the Division 1. We're talking divisions 2 through 20.
Right.
And that is a serious factor. And even right here, this is Division 1. That means that there is a hard line cap on these teams and their averages that they're allowed to be as a collective. There's no individual player cap on average. So there's going to be players that aren't expected to hit a hat trick every round, and it does add more drama, intrigue, and whatnot. And I think it's actually one of my Chris Watson back there making us laugh. It does add a lot more drama and intrigue. So no, I actually personally like it a lot. It's also what I would consider a palate cleanser. You're shooting at trips all day, taking a break to shoot the bulls. Not only shows your ability to kind of regroup and refocus, but also on top of that, it lets you kind of be ready to go back to the triples after.
Well, you see a different game. I'm just curious. This is the first time going to a tournament where from the top level bracket to the bottom level bracket, they don't change up the format at all. Mm-hmm. And I'm just wondering if it would suit better in the no cap or Division 1 if there was a little bit of a difference there. I'm just saying.
No, I think there's a fair argument for something like that. It's just it's the idea of consistency, because here's the thing. Jules, being one of, if not the highest average player in PPD, is playing in Division 1 rather than the no cap.
Yeah, he is.
And so changing the format based on the cap doesn't really work if every player can jump to almost relatively any division, depending on who they decide to partner with. Sydney Vaughn, by the way, asked a great question here. How many games do you need to qualify before the January cutoff for the CSC? So the exact dates aren't selected yet, so I can't give you the exact dates on when it is, but it's the top 32 averages for Division 1 and top 32 averages for Division 2 from the top 500 players in the PPD. Now, you get points every time you play a DRT, a league match, a major tournament such as the monthly triples. All those points add to your ranking on the top 500 players list. Of those, the top 64 players will qualify for the Cricket Singles Challenge, 32 to Division 1, 32 to Division 2. And assuming everything else stays the same, there'll be over $15,000 in prizes.
The lockdown date is January 15th, 2023.
And that's why you're the best.
I just knew it had already been picked, so that's why I wanted to set that up for you, but yeah. So
if you're curious, I mean, there's a lot more players gunning to get in the CSC than ever before. I will say, to get in that top 500, what it really requires, when we did the first CSC, it was very common to say one league a week could get you enough to get in the top 500. I truly do believe that you can still get one league a week, but you also need to be playing in every monthly triples for that to be true. If not, you need to be playing, at the time when I was qualifying, was playing 3 leagues a week, and I would do 2 at the same time. For one of those nights. That was personally my approach to the matter. David there not leaving his team and out. right now, Tim just needs to make sure he sets his team up real pretty because it is open out.
Yeah, open out. I mean, leave me 22. That's what I'm telling my partner. Yeah, I'll take that all day long.
And Larry Colburn here needs to put some pressure on this. 51 is a great out as well, so he just needs to hit a hat trick. I say just a hat trick. That is a lot to do in a a third place match with a lot of pressure on it.
I'll give Tim one. Boom goes a dynamite for that hat trick to leave 22.
94 left, not a bad leave, but with open out here, it's just about not going outside when shooting that double. You're going to aim on the inside wire, take your time with it, and if you hit a single, you're fine, as long as you don't accidentally fall into a double 14. That's the only bogey over there for you, and if you're hitting the trips, then you weren't going to hit the double anyways.
Well, first start double 11 for Chris Watson, hands down. Hands up.
14, big fat one.
Got it. You don't need to call me that. I already told you that. I'm right here.
The team going first in 0-1 wins once again.
Yep, so now we go. Last leg decider. There's a lot of pressure on Mike Scarborough's team. They don't want to lose this match. It has nothing to do with going to a last leg, last chance decider. It has to do with the fact that you cannot give yourself no room for error against Jules Van Dongen.
Correct. You need that cushion. Because he's the type of player that'll punish you. But of course, it's triples we're talking about here. If there is a way to beat Jules, it's the hope that his partners are off.
I like how Chris Watson, I love him to death. He's so lovable because that was one hole from the center hole of the double bowl, and he was expecting to hit it. He was expecting to hit that one hole. You can tell he was so upset that the dart did not even go in a double bowl.
It's about setting those high expectations and pushing yourself that strives for drives out, the greatness from all these players.
Well, here we go. Third place match, Division 1. Mike Scarborough. What pressure? 7-mark start.
Here is something else I want to point out.
Point it out.
I'm going to point it out right now. When you're looking at an in-person TOC, the diddle is a traditional diddle, closest to the center, right? When you're playing in the CSC or the All-Star Trips, which is going to be the same as this tournament, relatively speaking, it's that diddle where you have to do a countdown.
Yep.
The diddle being in person on the bowl makes it easier to start off strong, but to hit 6 perfect darts to have a great diddle and then also be able to start the game off strong is a lot harder. Agree? Disagree?
I don't. I think they're both difficult diddles to do, especially if you're going first in it. It's always tough, but those guys pulled it off the right way. I think you have to do a diddle in person with close to the bowl, and I think that if you're remote, you have to do it the other way. So I think it's more circumstance than what actually ends up being better.
No, I agree. It's circumstance that's how they have to do it. But I'm saying which one's harder.
I think the bowl. I think just one dart of the bowl is harder for me. Now that being said, at the top level, obviously the count up is just as hard.
Yeah.
But there's times where you're winning the diddle, not shooting that perfect dart. And on grand board, it's one dart.
Countdown all day. There's no question I disagree. In person, I think it's still harder. Fair enough. I think the idea is just if you're playing a top level match, so Kenny Doyle's diddling against Leonard Gates, they're almost expected to hit a ton 40 plus. Let's assume they hit a ton 80. Then you win the diddle with a ton 80. You then have to hit another ton 80. You have to go back-to-back 9 marks.
That's true.
To win, rather than a diddle where you're throwing one really good dart, one really focused dart. There's a lot of different factors that go into it.
You do get an extra 3 darts of practice, though, on the game that you're playing.
That is true. And the extra practice starts is something I need more of. Chris Watson, his team needs to get a foothold here, and they don't seem to be finding as such.
John, they did do the Invitational, the CSI. We had the men's yesterday morning, and we had the women's the day before.
He's talking about a different event that they used to do. So they had the I don't know the exact naming of it, but it was a World Cup-esque challenge. That's where we saw Boris, Adam Stella, Tony Martin.
Okay.
That's what he's referring to. And then that was actually an event that we talked about. And of course, we are just the producers promoting darts here. But when we were talking with the PBD, at least myself in private, there was conversations about which events to bring back and which ones not. And we opted to do the CSIs first.
Hear that?
And sorry
coming
about that.
for you, Nick.
Someone must have hit a jackpot at the local casino there. You can hear the alarms going off. But look at that shot from Dario to bring his team back in the running.
I can't believe you just told my wife on stream that there's a casino here. I'm just kidding. It's getting closer.
Is he coming this way?
Is it just staying here with that sound? It's going away now.
And you can see Sean Green still has his echolocation skills fully intact.
What is that supposed to mean? Oh, I can hear it closer and further away. Sorry about that.
Tim here needing a lot of 15s. One more triple does get the point lead.
Not quite going to get the point lead.
Right now, David, Larry, Mike looking good to win this without going to that last leg decider, giving themselves that cushion that they'll need for the finals. 2 Bulls gets it, deciding to play it a little safe. I like that shot.
Ooh, went at the bull in the last start. He wanted to make sure he added an extra bull with the 20 first. See Jules back there, just looking to see who he's going to play.
Well, after this match, I'm certain we're going to play a quick interview with one of these players real quick as we will get set up for our finals.
Will's giving him a look like, what?
Will's telling me I'm wrong with his eyes.
What you talking about, Willis? That's what he's saying with his eyes. And then you're saying with your eyes, my name's Nick, not Willis. Well, and David Reese is going to come up here, needs 2 bowls.
Take it and bring him to the finals.
There's one. Ooh, good looking dart. And not going to get it done. Don't tell me there's a chance. If you're Dario Mesa, he walked a long way.
6 bowls needed. 3 to close, 3 to get up. Absolute perfection is required here.
Well, he thinks he can do it. I think he can do it. But is he going to? No. You see, he
just laughs.
Yeah, I got a little bit too much into his own head, he could tell. Chris puts on his backpack. I've been wearing mine all day already. As Larry steps up here, 1 bowl needed in his cool and colorful jersey.
And 1 bowl will be found right here.
There it is. They move on to the final to take on Jules, Trisha Romero, and Trisha Romero's dad.
Wow.
How awesome is that?
That's really cool. And I'm excited to see how that drama pans out. Let's take a quick moment here. My name is Nick Dichiria, joined by Sean Green and Will Stuart of USA Darts at the Tournament of Champions 2022. Hey, folks, finals is up next.
All right, guys, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to the finals. I was just trying to be like Will.
are 5 total options in the HEMA range, 3 steel tip labeled 01 through 03, and 2 soft tip variants labeled 10 and 11, with multiple barrel weights for each option. Now, common themes that they all share are bold red and black accents along a silver barrel. They all have striking radial grooves in certain sections that are offset by small axial cuts. And all steel tip barrel versions are fitted with smooth silver Swiss points. You can purchase these barrels on our website, usadartsproduction.com. Just look for the link in the description, and I hope you enjoyed this review as well as the rest of the 2021 launch. We've reviewed it all, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on future range reviews, as well as our review of the new Target dartboard. Thanks for watching.
All right, welcome back to the finals here at the Tournament of Champions 2022 Division I Triples. I'm Sean Green, joined in the booth by the youngest member of our team, 24-year-old Nick, is it Dichiria?
Do you not know anymore after all this time? Dichiria, yes it is.
Oh, okay, good. Well, Mr. Dichiria, you know, you've been around a couple of these players. David Reese, for one. Tell me a little bit about the team that is going up against our King Seat team right now.
Well, I mean, as I've had a chance to talk with Mike Scarborough and David Reese, and Larry Colburn's a name that I've seen in many tournaments but haven't had a chance to talk with too much one-on-one. These are what I would consider your nice, classic, above-average players, but there's no one at that pro level, no one at that exceptional level, like the Jules of the world, the Ligays of the world. And I mean that in the sense of, like, they are your local players playing in a tough tournament against a very tough team, and they're going to get pushed to their limits today, and they're going to play like they have something to prove.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. You see the beautiful jersey being worn by Mr. Larry Colburn right here. Man, for saying, like, when you say, like, these aren't the Jules and Leonards of the world, that's because there's not very many of them.
Yes, and
here's one of them. This is Jules.
Well, and I mean in the sense of, like, when we talk about how the CSC is the best part about it is that it is playing at your local bar with local players. This is the local players playing against some of the local pros.
Well, boom goes the dynamite there for Jules Van Dongen. And yeah, you want to talk about local pros, PDC card holder Jules Van Dongen, 10K winner yesterday in the CSI. I
mean, that's some real deal money. You see Scarborough goes for a close on that last start. I wonder if it's almost out of frustration as they are pretty far behind in this leg, and Trisha Romero just goes up and is hitting everything she's aiming at.
Yeah, Trish is one of those players that is a little bit, the confidence can waver from time to time. Earlier, I said you're not throwing, or you're throwing with a slouch, and Jules Van Dongen, and she laughed and she goes, "Well, Sean, I'm not a slouch, so that's why." And I go, "Ooh, I like the way Trish is throwing today. I'm gonna guess." And this is, I misspoke earlier. If you were with us earlier, this is Trisha's husband, Roger. And husband Roger, who's a 2.0 average player, he said, just threw a 3.58, and they. Or 3.50 as they roll leg one, does it with a hat trick. Says he's just enjoying himself. It is an honor to be asked to play with his wife and Jules, and he's happy to do so.
And then also, just wanted to point out that this is just means one leg away. If Jules and them win, it is over.
It's over.
It's over.
But that's not true, right? That's not true, though, right? Doesn't Colburn, Scarborough, and Reese have to lose twice?
Oh, excuse me. You are right. They need to get their third loss. I did misspeak there. Got a little caught up in the action. So it'll be hard to come back, though. They're going to have to burn their extra life early in this game of Mario.
Looks like... couple people in the chat are talking about Soldier and maybe his hot and coldness as a player. We might as well talk about it. I'll defend him in saying that he's here to do a job first. He travels around the country, around the world to play darts. He doesn't travel around the country to hang out with his friends at dart tournaments and, you know, see how it goes.
Yeah.
He's one of the few players, his mindset going in is win. And, you know, former professional baseball player is giving him a little bit of an edge to him, to where when he is in tournament mode and practice mode even, it's not the time to talk to him.
So Leonard Gates played professional baseball, right? You said minor league, right?
Yep.
And we also had Gerwin Price. I mean, used to be a rugby player as well. Do you think there's like a certain sense of like people that have that competitive drive can just almost pick up any sport and do at least in my wall in all of them? Because I wonder if that's the reason why we see that consistency amongst top level players.
It's very possible. Those guys will tend to have a different mindset overall than your average or even above average dart player. Do you agree with that?
I'll be honest. I think that baseball is a very good converter sport. If you can play baseball, chances are you're good in a lot of other sports because it takes a lot of hand-eye coordination as well as foot control. It takes a lot of different mechanics to be a good baseball player. So usually if you're a good baseball player, you can catch on to a lot of sports pretty quick. Golf, one fairly quickly, and darts as well because it's all follow-through.
That's a beautiful voice of none other than the legend, the GOAT, the man, the myth, Will Stuart.
I just threw up a little bit in my mouth.
With excitement.
That was terrible, buddy.
All right, Trisha Romero stepping up here, 188. Looking at the 17s to try and get that wedge. Gets it done on the last start, but would rather find herself another wedge than point there is a little bit interesting.
And looking at Rice, Scarborough, Colburn, they are a team full of fairly even level averages, fairly equally talented players with only slight differences between each. While Romero, and Van Dongen, there is a clear skill disparity between the A player to the B and C. And that's going to be one of the interesting points that we're going to notice in this match. If Jules does not go up there and do massive amounts of work, then his entire team is going to have a harder time picking up the slack. While if, let's say right now, Larry did not hit a big round, then the rest of his team is still even keel average and might have an easier time picking the game back up.
You're right there. I mean, Jules said it himself earlier to me. He said, you know, a 5 mark's not really good in this level for me. Mm-hmm. Because if I'm not hitting a 7 or a 9, I feel like I'm letting down my team that is relying on me as I'm the one dragging him up into Division 1. Now, Trish obviously is Trish. She's a top-level player in her own right. She'd probably be dragging people up herself.
Honestly, I think it's really cool and really unique that you're going to see these high-level players playing in lower brackets and just really taking their chances at, hey, I may be the one that has to strap some players onto my back and maybe hit a 9 mark here just to get us back into the game. Love it.
And also, I mean, I don't quote me on the exact number, but if it's anything like all-star trips, the team cap for level 1 is 210 combined player rating for all 3 players. Jules himself is 90 plus.
He's
of
over
that.
100.
Is he over 100 now?
Yeah, he's over 100.
Last time I looked, he was in the 90s. He might be over 100 now, which means that he is half the team's total allowed average.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you really decide who you're going to pick to be partners with, and it's kind of a cool scenario where Trisha's husband, who's a 2.0 average player, is able to play with Jules and actually asked to play with them because of his skill level versus his rating.
One of the philosophies when you're setting up for like the monthly triples, because that's a big component of the PPD program that doesn't get highlighted enough. Those monthly triples tournaments, your goal when you're flighting your team, if you are at least, if some of the players are in that upper average, it's all about getting exactly to that 210 cap or as close as you can get to it as possible. So you're playing against other players that are also close to that cap, keeps that spread really tight. What you don't want to have happen on the other end of the spectrum, though, is you don't want to be the lowest average team in the bottom division. So you see a lot of players try to match up their teams in relevance to knowing that their brackets are going to be flighted, and they have to kind of figure out what other teams are going to be doing as well.
That's true. You can almost decide what division you're going to be in based on...
To an extent, yes.
To an extent. Before you
can decide if you're Division 1 or not, absolutely.
Yeah.
After that, it's very hard to know if you're going to place anything. And the difference between Division 2 and Division 4 is minute at best.
Well, David Reese needs himself 6 bowls. 5 will do it, though. Not going to be able to do it. So, is it going to be Trisha? Yep, Trisha steps up. 2 bowls. Take out the first match. They do have to beat Colburn, Scarborough, and Reese twice.
This format will follow the team with the least amount of losses.
Gets
so
it done.
It's going to go back to a best of 3 cricket once again because that was their second loss. So best of 3 cricket once again.
Yep.
But now, no lives left for the team of Colburn, Scarborough, and Rice. And it's now or never. They need to triple dip from here on out. They need to win 4 out of 6 legs and then an additional leg at the very end there. So 5 legs in total required for them to win and can only drop 2 legs themselves.
I think Mike got that by a hole. Yep. My Hawkeyes are able to see that. So, let's get going. All cricket again, right?
Yes, sir.
You just set that up beautifully. You can see the wins as they go back, exit league play to go back into league play. It's still going to be the winner side, and here we go. And I've just noticed I've said David's name wrong the entire time, haven't I?
How have you been saying it?
Is it Rice instead of Reese?
I've just been saying David.
No, you said Rice or Reese multiple times.
I've said both. I'm hedging my bets.
I'm going to go with Reese.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Reese.
Reese for sure.
But then again, we all know.
It's probably
Leave it
If
to
Will is taking
Leave
Reese,
it to Will to butcher it.
I'm really feeling like it might be the other way then.
I don't know, but I'm even saying Reese, so I think it's fine. Hey, I want to give a shout out in our chat to someone who's... See, Reese, enunciate the E. There you go. Shout out to a couple of the younger people in our chat. We have Jalen Romero, who is Trisha's son, who is actually here this weekend watching along in person. So I got to meet him earlier. Wanted to say hi to Jalen on the chat. And then, same thing, Dominic Punt in here saying, I was a baseball star when I was younger. I think he's like 17, right? So it's like T-ball time? Is that what you're talking about?
I'm underestimating his age. I think he's like 19 or 20 now.
Oh, okay.
But I know he's still pretty young. I think his dad's actually playing this weekend here in town. I think Mark is playing TOC. I could be wrong about that, though.
Trisha here just needs to
He's
keep
21
moving
now.
forward.
21 now. Okay, so he's still young, though. But closer to Nick's age.
Yep, and I'm old as dirt at 24 years old.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. I only got a little bit over 10 years on you.
8? What are you, 33 now?
Nope, I'm 34. I'll be 35 in October.
Oh, my.
You don't
I'll
look
be
a day-
35 this month, and you guys are treating me like this in my birthday month? You kidding me? You kidding me? I got the whole birthday month. You guys have been treating me
Will
like this?
Stuart just spit out water from that one.
Yeah, on to me. That's where we're at.
Well, you don't look a day past 33, buddy.
Thank you. I know you don't mean that with the hairline, but I appreciate the talk.
Whom goes the hairline?
Yeah.
Back to the darts, back to the action. Mike Scarborough did a 1 mark on his first attempt. He needs to find more because Jules is right behind him.
Literally. I didn't see him standing right there behind him.
That is true.
Gets a 6 mark. Man, isn't it crazy to be in events where you're throwing a 6 mark and shaking your head as you walk to the line or walk to the board to grab your darts?
That is nuts. Tyler Hinsey made sure
This
to
is
let
why.
you know that he's a kid too, buddy. And
Oh,
that
Tyler, I didn't even see you in the chat, bud.
kid, he doesn't look like a kid. Let's be honest.
No,
Guy-
Tyler looks like he is 38. Tyler, one of the next big shots out of Minnesota, and pun intended there.
First steel tip event
Yeah.
in Music City, and he had to play Larry Butler in the top 16. He made it to the top 16 in cricket. Folks.
Yeah, singles.
That's awesome.
And him and his dad ran through quite a tough bracket.
Yeah, they did. They did. As you take a good yawn there. Yeah, they did. Honestly, it was impressive for their first. I think that was really their first significant steel tip event.
Well, Mama Tina Anderson from Indy in the chat saying Libras are the best. I agree. We balance the scales, bro.
Personally, I don't mind being a Scorpio.
I wouldn't have minded Scorpios until I met you.
Well, it's a good thing I lied to you. I'm actually a Leo.
Something the Leos would do. All right.
Good thing I lied to you again. I'm gonna go. No, I'm just kidding. All right, back
Hate you
to
so much.
the darts.
Roger going to step up.
Again, I just got to meet him out there before the start of this match. He's having a great time, enjoying himself. And when you have Jules and Trisha as your partners, how do you not have a great time and enjoy yourself? If they lose, Jules is the most even-keeled loser of, that you can really run into. He's like, well, that just wasn't our day. It's fine. Let's move on. And if he wins, he's as complimentary and nice and excited as anyone else would be.
But definitely consider not going out to the hall after they just lost their match. Him and Mark Carter last night, I definitely went out there and said, how about 3 for 4 instead of 4 for 4? And he goes, his mouth dropped. He goes, that was unnecessary.
Oh, no. Jules doing what's necessary right now, though. Needs to hit those 15s.
Well, he did, and he got a bowl for good measure. So far, Romero, and Van Dongen do not have much of a weakness going on.
Romero squared, if you will.
That is correct.
You see, Sean had to click that one in his brain as he hasn't been a math teacher before. He's English.
2 times 2 is 4.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's right,
Which
yeah.
is close to 2. I get you.
But 2 plus 2 is also 4.
Well, Romero here, let's see what she can do. Looking for
Double
a
ball in the last dart to win the first leg. That's what she can do.
Yep, got it. Makes it 1-0. 1 leg away from the win.
Man, to lose 3 straight legs and be here and have to keep playing and fighting out. Mike almost had a resigned look on his face like, yep, same stuff as always.
It's tough, though. I mean, you understand when you're playing these events that there's going to be a brick wall team, and you just hope that that's you.
That is true.
On the other end, like, the only way that they beat this team is they need Jules, like he said, to throw less than a 7 mark each attempt, and we haven't really seen him do that.
Do you think Jules is listening to his walk-on music? Do you think he listens to that music at any point in time? White Horse, Jules Van Dongen.
Well, he's listening to the ponies run across the screen. I know that for sure. I tried to ask him that after the CSI. I said, Jules, everyone in chat's been asking one thing. What's going on those headphones? And he looked at me and said, some stuff Americans can't handle yet. So that is the answer I got from him.
Well, John, I tried to ask the question. What did you say he said?
Well, he said it was French dubcore. I believe is what he said. And he said that basically it was stuff that the TOC Hall in America was not ready for, was the answer I was given. No specific song mentioned.
All right. As a boom goes to catch the mic before it falls. Here
Just
is
taking one out of your notebook there, bud.
Larry Colburn. It's all right. I actually broke the mic earlier, so we're good.
Well,
here is Roger.
Better than putting the battery in backwards. That one's happened a couple times.
I don't know what you're talking
in
about.
our streams. I've done it. You've done it.
I
Let's
have
be
not.
honest.
I have not done that.
I have never in my life done something that silly.
Mike needs to make he goes up and just closes the 20 there, and I don't love that shot because he needs to be getting as much points as possible for his team, knowing that the ace is right behind him.
I think he's got that feeling that
try
no matter what I
crazy.
do, this one's going to hurt, I think.
And I agree, but you always have to have a can't give up mentality, because right now Jules is not giving up, and even though he could have probably gone for a more aggressive close there, he chose not to because he wants to make sure he doesn't let down his partners. He wants to guarantee that win, and I think Mike Scarborough there could have done a little bit more pointing there. I don't think it's him giving up, though. I think it's him just trying to close the distance as much as possible, just in a different way.
Lisa said hard style for the music that
Thank
Jules
you,
is listening
Lisa,
to.
because he was talking music genres I didn't even know existed.
Gabriel talking about Dustin Holt. Dustin is a good dude for the most part, like 95% of the time.
Will Stuart's Dart Tournament best friend.
And we're the 3 best friends that anybody could have. And yes, my voice is coming back, so I can sing some songs. So I hope you're ready for more
that I'm going to bring you. Because I'll never, ever, 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 ever leave you guys.
Larry needs to find a triple here.
All right. Roger. 15s. You close those out. You have done your job today, sir.
It also will give them a 4th number. After missing the first, though, I don't know if there's much reason to stay.
Stay. Oh, he did stay. Almost hits it. There's a definite reason why you stay. It's the guy who's giving you a little smirk behind you.
Well, if you close it, sure, it does shut them out. But now Scarborough can go up there and point all day, close that distance. And if Jules, for some reason, doesn't regain the point lead, a little bit of a wild dart in that last one.
He did not go for points all day.
Well, again, I just don't know. I just don't necessarily agree with that line of strategy.
I agree.
As Jules is doing what we expect, going across, hitting a beautiful calculated 8 mark there.
Well, Jules has done his job as the A player on this team. Trisha has done her job as the B player on the team, and
they're playing great darts.
Yeah, I mean, all 3 of them have done fantastic. Mike Malone is saying giving up there. Lisa said offered him my calming Inya, but it doesn't have the same effect.
Trisha going right at the bulls. Needs 2 more of those.
Oh.
Good look at it.
Oh, she's going to put it on her husband to win the game for the team.
And it looks
no
like
pressure.
This finals might be just about done. You know what's crazy? Jules, Roger, and Trisha are all not in the 50K pool, which means everybody else in other divisions are happy that they're winning.
Yep.
Because they're not taking any shares from that prize pool because they would have lost 2 shares, or sorry, 3 shares the other way. Think about it like that.
It feels really bad for, now I feel worse for Larry and them, so
because that's an extra potentially $1,000+ dollars.
Roger for the match. He did all the work. Roger Romero, the A player, takes it down, wins the title. The Division I Triples champions, Trisha Romero, Roger Romero, and some dude named Jules.
Well, folks, that concludes your Division 1. We watched the end of the no cap as well, and there is more darting action this evening as we're going to be talking about the doubles no cap and some more darting action here at the Tournament Champions in Kansas City, Missouri. We've seen some great stuff so far, haven't we, Sean?
We absolutely have, and we have more coming tonight. Doubles heading your way this evening. We're going to be live back at 6 p.m. $2 million in payouts, including tomorrow's finale, which is going to be insanity here at the 9th annual Tournament of Champions, the KCI Expo Center in Kansas City, Missouri. I'm Sean Green, the one that's going bald. Nick DeShare is the one with all his hair, and Will's the one who's making his hair look better due to Photoshop. And we will be back with more coming your way at 6 p.m.
Darts.
Thanks, everyone.